Trade was mostly at $133 to $134, up $1 to $2 from the previous week, while dress sales are mainly at $210, about $3 higher than the week before. Monday's activity will likely be limited to the distribution of the show list, but most of the week's business will probably occur before Thanksgiving. Still, some buyers are known to wait around on Friday for some Black Friday deals. Box beef was higher with choice up $2.25, $278.41, and select up 67 at $263.83. The estimated slaughter of 121,000 head was up 5,000 on the week and 6,000 on the year. In Oklahoma, receipts of just over 39,000 head were down on the week and the year. Feeder steers and heifers were steady to 3 higher. Steer calves are up 4 and heifer calves are steady to 3 higher. USDA says demand was very good for all classes, with that demand boosted by lower supplies and higher slaughter cattle prices. Wheat pastures reported as in good shape, helping the demand for calves. Medium and large number 1 feeder steers weighing 500 to 600 pounds range from 156 to 188. 6 to 7 weight steers range from 141 to 170. Medium and large number 1 feeder heifers weighing 500 to 600 pounds are reported at 132 to 162. 600 to 700 pound heifers brought 127 to 156. Cash hogs were mixed on Friday with relatively light negotiated numbers for the major direct markets. Many buyers had the needed numbers on hand before Friday rolled around, using the ample market-ready numbers for leverage to secure supplies ahead of that holiday slowdown. National direct barrels and gilts were 15 cents lower, with a price range of 53 to 56.75 and a weighted average of 54.95. Both Iowa, southern Minnesota, and the western Corn Belt had weighted averages of 54.96. The eastern Corn Belt was not reported due to confidentiality. Red Oak was $3 higher in Iowa at 48, and the Walker Sale Barn had no recent comparison at 48 to 57. The butcher hog markets in Dorchester, Wisconsin, and Garnavolo, Iowa were both closed on Friday. The pork carcass cutout value was 13 cents higher at 89.82. Butts and bellies were sharply higher, with loins, picnics, and ribs up modestly, while hams were sharply lower. The estimated slaughter on Friday was 479,000 head, down 1,000 on the week and 8,000 on the year. We are online at brownfieldagnews.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brownfield. John Perkins, Brownfield.
This is your land, the land of opportunity, and nothing should stand in the way of your soybean fields from reaching their fullest potential. Liberty Herbicide from BASF provides the freedom to use across the majority of today's trait platforms, plus excellent weed control and greater application flexibility for unmatched convenience. Experience the freedom of Liberty Herbicide from BASF. Visit yourliberty-herbicide.com. Always read and follow label directions.
It's smart to make the right agronomic choices, and it's even smarter to get rewarded for them. With the Bayer Plus Rewards program, you earn cash back on seed, herbicides, and other eligible products. And it keeps getting smarter, because now you can earn an additional 10% bonus when you send your redemption check to your retailer. To learn more, contact your retailer today. Protect your yields and get the most from your land with Bayer Plus Rewards. Visit mybayerplus.com and see program terms and conditions for full details.
At Farmers Cooperative Association number 301, they carry a full line of quality MFA and Purina branded feeds, as well as all of your other farming needs, plus lawn and garden. Stop in and see your local Farmers Cooperative Association number 301 at 28 North Church Street in downtown Sullivan.
Artists are flocking to the wool market. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. A program called Shave 'em to Save 'em links fiber artists with people selling the wool of endangered sheep as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Whenever you're online, Living the Country Life is there too. Like us on Facebook and exchange tips and ideas with people who share your love for the country way of life. Follow us on Twitter at Small Farming for timely news and information. You can also find us on Instagram and Pinterest. See the latest inspired shot from our readers or add a garden tip to your boards. Living the Country Life has all the ideas for your home acreage. Visit us online at livingthecountrylife.com and find us on social media.
If you're looking for new ideas for what to do around your place in the country, register for the Living the Country Life newsletter. Once a week, you'll receive helpful tips in your inbox on a wide variety of seasonal and timely topics, along with so much more. Living the Country Life is for all those people who love to live in the country. Sign up for your free newsletter today by visiting livingthecountrylife.com.
The way to save endangered breeds of livestock is to give them a job. The Livestock Conservancy created a Shave 'em to Save 'em initiative to establish a market for the wool of rare and endangered sheep breeds and make it economically viable for farmers to raise them. Sindra Kirscher is the organization's program coordinator. She says thousands of fiber artists have connected with shepherds and other wool resellers.
They enroll through rarewool.org is the website, and they connect through several routes. We have a Shave 'em to Save 'em Facebook group, and enrolled fiber providers can actually advertise in the Facebook group. They post photos of their sheep, which fiber artists love to see. They post photos of their fleeces when they're available for sale. And then another way is we have an online breeders directory on our website, and that's livestockconservancy.org.
Artists have created everything from mittens to baby sweaters to rugs from the wool and hair of 23 endangered sheep breeds. Kirscher says working with different types of wool has expanded opportunities for the fiber artists and created an economic boon for the farmers.
We've had fiber providers, actual shepherds, tell us that they've expanded their sales by 60% or more. Some folks were just paying the shearer every year and throwing the wool in their compost pile, using it to mulch around their tomato plants, or just storing it in the barn in bags. And then now they're actually selling it.
Kirscher says the 3-year program was set to end in February of 2022, but because of its popularity, it's been extended indefinitely. Learn more about the Shave 'em to Save 'em program at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
From the KTUI Weatherbug Weather Center, for this morning, expecting mostly cloudy skies. Sunny this afternoon, a high temperature of 43 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear and cool, a low of 29. On Tuesday, sunny, a high of 54. Tuesday night, mostly clear, a low of 41. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a high of 60. Wednesday night, rain likely, low 35. And on your Thursday, expecting partly sunny skies, a chance of a morning shower, high temperature 44. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Currently, skies clearing, sun's coming up. It is now back up to 32 degrees at studios of KTUI. Looking for a high day again, as he said, 43. Happy birthday today, Jody Feeser and John Rice. Little John having a birthday today. At 7:30 this morning, U.S. Congressman Blaine Lukemeyer will be my guest on the phone. And then at 8:30, Brady Vassalli will be coming in from the Fraternal Order of the Eagles. It is Go for a Ride Day, Humane Society Anniversary Day, National Cranberry Relish Day. It's National Housing Day in Canada, National Stop the Violence Day, Start Your Own Country Day. So celebrate one of those, or just make something up of your own if you want to today. Time now for us to take a little trip across our wide Missouri.
Across our wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. Listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State by visiting MissouriNet.com today.
Although Kentucky gets credit for being the center of thoroughbred horse racing, Missouri can't be very far behind. Two of the greatest names in our horse racing history are Tom Bass and Rex Mcdonald. If Tom Bass wasn't the greatest trainer of horses in the country's history, he was certainly the equal of any. And Rex Mcdonald was one of the greatest horses of his kind ever in America. Their stories in a minute.
Throughout the pandemic, the need for crisis counseling services has increased. If you're struggling, you aren't alone. Show Me Hope Missouri's crisis counseling program is still here for you with free and confidential counseling. If you or anyone you know needs support, call or text 1-800-985-5990. Show Me Hope counselors listen with patience and without judgment. Just call or text 1-800-985-5990 or find a provider near you at moshowmehope.org.
I'm Doris Falkenrath, and I'm a warden at the Fulton Reception and Diagnostic Center. We are given the opportunity every single day to make a difference in the lives of those men and women to help them be better for their families and be contributors to the community. You are going to be in contact with people who really need your help, who really need good role models, and you will have the opportunity to provide that. It has been one of the best experiences of my life. There's nothing else like it.
Secure your future at doc.mo.gov/jobs. The Missouri Department of Corrections is an equal opportunity employer.
Tom Bass was born a slave in Boone County 6 years before the end of the Civil War. He became a stable boy at the famous Audrain County stables of Joseph Potts after the war and spent his formative years among horses. He once said that he slept in the stables when he was so tiny he got covered up in the straw and rode the old mares when I was no bigger than a horsefly. He became one of the most famous horse trainers in his time. He rode in Grover Cleveland's inaugural parade, twice for Calvin Coolidge, and once before Queen Marie of Hungary. He was invited to the Diamond Jubilee thrown by Queen Victoria of England, but he didn't go because he was afraid of ocean trips. Mexico newspaperman L.M. White once told of the dignitaries who visited the stables: Theodore Roosevelt, William McKinley, William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, and others. Once when Bryan was there, he saw a horse he especially liked, and he asked its name, and Bass reluctantly told him it was named for the man who'd beaten Bryan for the presidency, William McKinley. Once when Kansas City's fire department was planning to take its horses to Europe for a show, they found themselves without money. So widely respected was Tom Bass that he gave a horse show to raise the money, and a lot of people today trace that show as the start of the Great American Royal. His favorite horse was named Belle Beach. They won everything from Madison Square Garden down to the county fairs, and in later days after leaving the show circuit, Belle would be ridden into downtown Mexico on Saturday afternoons, and crowds would gather on the west side of the square and block traffic to watch Tom put her through her paces. It was Tom Bass who invented a bit still widely used in horse shows. It made handling better and was less painful to the horse. In 1890, while Tom Bass was establishing himself, Rex McDonald was born. The career Rex McDonald began in 1893 remains unequaled. That year, Rex McDonald was entered in the saddle stakes at the Mexico Fair, and he won the $800 prize, the largest such prize in the nation at that time. Rex was sold in 1894 for just over $3,000. 4 years later, the selling price doubled. Later, another buyer, Ralph Orthwine of St. Louis, heard some Kentuckians at a horse show bragging about their entries. The St. Louis Republic said later that talk finally prompted Orthwine to bet $5,000 that Rex McDonald could beat the best nag they could offer in saddle stakes. Orthwine also offered to take off 3 of Rex's shoes and put a saddle boy on him that night. He won. One of Rex's few defeats was in the 1896 Kansas City Horse Show, where he was beaten by a horse named Miss Rex, ridden by Tom Bass. He was beaten only 5 other times in more than 10 years on the show ring. At the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, Rex McDonald was named the champion saddle horse of America. He finally retired because nobody else would show a horse against him. Tom Bass, who had ridden Rex to many victories, always wanted to own him but could never afford it. Rex died in 1913. His hide was kept in the lobby of the Ringo Hotel in Mexico until fire destroyed the hotel. Tom Bass took the hide and kept it at his stables, and when Tom Bass died, he and the hide of Missouri's greatest horse were buried on the same day. Will Rogers took note of Bass's death and said, "If old St. Peter's is wise to be giving credit for being Tom, he'll let you go in on horseback and give those folks up there a great show, and you'll get the blue ribbon all by yourself." The Missouri tradition of great horses and great trainers has outlasted the years since the death of Rex McDonald in 1913 and the death of Tom Bass on this date, November 22nd, 1934.
That was Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Pretty. To listen to show archives, hear about this day in Missouri history, and learn more about the Show Me State, visit MissouriNet.com.
Steve Terry grew up along the Mississippi River, but he perhaps never imagined he would spend most of his career working on that river. But a teenage job aboard a riverboat changed his ideas about what he wanted to do in life. His story is this edition of The American Countryside. It's true, I do travel the countryside for each of the interviews you hear on this show, but I'm also a farmer in northwest Missouri, and I enjoy sharing stories from agriculture as well. That's why I created the Farming the Countryside show, where I interview guests with information important in farm and ranch country. You can hear us on many local radio stations. Just look for our station list on the Farming the Countryside page on Facebook, or catch it as a podcast on the AgriTalk app or your favorite podcast platform. Listen to Farming the Countryside, brought to you by Pivot BioProven, as we share information those in agriculture need to know.
Hi, I'm Ag Day host Clinton Griffiths, and I invite you to join me each morning as we cover the nation's food system, from fields of green to orchards of orange and livestock everywhere in between. America runs on agriculture, and here at Ag Day, agriculture is what we do best. Listen as our analysts track the markets, learn about innovations in technology and sustainability, and live the country lifestyle through the eyes of rural America. Join me, Clinton Griffiths, for Ag Day, the country experience.
Steve Terry grew up along the Mississippi River in Hannibal, Missouri, but it wasn't until the end of his high school years that the river truly became a part of his life.
When I graduated high school, they needed a deckhand to fill in for the college students that were going back to college for the season. So I came here as a green deckhand and working with a really awesome captain and just fell in love with it.
Over the years, Steve worked his way up from a green deckhand to become the captain and owner of the Mark Twain Riverboat here in Hannibal, Missouri.
I love boats, river. I like to meet people. I like to tell the stories. I like, just all the aspects of it. And now I don't enjoy the office side of it, but I love the pilot house side.
Steve quickly found that he loved the river and piloting boats. In fact, he was a quick study.
Well, I've been a captain for 42 years. In 1979, after my apprenticeship, I got my license. I was 19, and I was the youngest pilot on the Mississippi, or one of them anyway, at that time. And then my wife and I bought the company in 97.
There are several places along the Mississippi River where you can take an excursion on a riverboat. Steve says there is one reason at the top of many visitors' lists why they come here.
A lot of it is Mark Twain. They want to see what inspired him to write the stories, Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And they want to see the town from the riverside, if you will. They want to hear some of the stories and just to experience it.
Not only did Mark Twain base many of his books on life events here in Hannibal, but he, like Steve, was a riverboat captain. Twain's life on the river is next time as we travel the countryside. In Hannibal, Missouri, I'm Andrew McCrae.
An expert expects fertilizer costs to keep rising for now. I'm Larry Lee with Agribusiness News on Brownfield, sponsored by Stewart & Kiefer Real Estate and Auction, the fourth generation serving buyers and sellers of Missouri's land and agribusiness since 1932. Find them at stewartandkiefer.com or call 417-646-2312. An executive for an ag financial advisor says fertilizer costs will likely go up before leveling off. Brownfield's Will Robinson has more.
StoneX Director of Fertilizer Josh Linville tells Brownfield he's seeing nitrogen prices topping $1,300, and the global picture is telling him the cost of anhydrous is primed to increase further.
We could very, very easily see prices $1,600, $1,700 to the farm.
Linville says the market is trapped in a cycle of higher fertilizer costs, lowering expected corn acreage, which raises corn price, which then raises expected acreage.
And then that justifies fertilizer prices going up because now it's chasing the added demand it just saw. And it's this vicious circle that we're in. And unfortunately, I think it's one of those where corn is going to continue to push to get its acres, which just keeps supporting the fertilizer price through the next spring.
From the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention in Kansas City, I'm Will Robinson on Brownfield.
It's no secret climate change mitigation will be a driving factor in language for the 2023 Farm Bill. And two former Farm Bill pioneers say too much focus on that could hurt farmers. Brownfield's Rhiannon Branch reports.
Pat Roberts, past chairman of both the House and Senate Ag Committees, and former House Ag Committee Chairman Colin Peterson, agree that protecting crop insurance should remain a top priority in the 2023 Farm Bill.
I think cover crops have got a lot of potential, but it's very different having a cover crop situation in Arkansas than it is in northern Minnesota. You can't have a one-size-fits-all situation. You certainly can't require that you have cover crops in order to buy crop insurance.
Roberts says the severe lack of bipartisan cooperation seen on the ag committees could make it even more difficult to ensure climate language does not hurt farmers.
I'm very worried. Everybody says, well, when is the pendulum going to swing back? And I said, I'm not sure it'll swing back. It'll swing, but we have yet to determine that.
From the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention in Kansas City, I'm Rhiannon Branch reporting for Brownfield.
The world's largest biofuel producer says Washington bureaucracy is stalling the ethanol agenda. Doug Burvin is Vice President of Corporate Affairs with Poet.
There are a lot of things that are frustrating for us, but it seems to be an awful lot of politics around the status quo energy system out there, and we're talking about reinventing energy.
Burvin says uncertainty is growing for corn growers and the ethanol industry.
We're waiting for renewable volume obligations. There's still a lot of small refinery exemptions sitting out there.
I'm Larry Lee with Agribusiness News on Brownfield.
Because the challenges you face are getting bigger every year, BASF is committed to helping with more than boots on the ground. We're committed to boots in the mud, boots on the steps of your truck, your tractor, your combine, the linoleum tiles of your coffee shop, the concrete of your co-op, the gravel in your shed. So we can listen, learn firsthand, help right now to ensure success. BASF, helping you do the biggest job on earth.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
This is our break from the grind of life. We can pause, and it's something we have to schedule like everything else we put on the schedule.
Your family is busy, but the dinner table is a great place for you to connect. Here's Ted Cunningham on Focus on the Family Minute.
We want our kids to walk away from our family table when they leave our home going, that was a place that was slow, it was enjoyable, we were relaxed. I feel there is where my mom and dad really got to know me. They asked me probing questions there. One of the big aspects of the family table for us is safety. This is a safe place, so you can share. We can hold one another accountable here. We can confess here. We always want that family table to be a place where they long to come back to. We want them to come back. We want them to bring their children. We want them to bring our grandchildren.
Hear more from Ted about making mealtime a priority at FamilyMinute.org.
News was being circulated late Sunday about the
The OBGYN you choose
in the Milwaukee suburb. The official White House statement says our hearts go out to everyone who has been impacted by this terrible incident. A handful of people were killed and over 3 dozen were injured when an SUV slammed into a parade Sunday. Police say they have a person of interest in custody and will have a press conference about 1 o'clock local time Monday. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida on One America News says he signed legislation to ban vaccine mandates on Florida employees.
I mean, they have to respect the substantive protections that we've signed in the law in the state of Florida. It doesn't matter where you're headquartered. If you're doing business here and you have Florida employees, then those protections apply.
DeSantis goes on to say the law was written to withstand lawsuits. We are USA Radio News.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. Think what you could do with that. But if you join right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fees, so that's another $170 you'll save. And MediShare is really different. It's a community of Christians who share each other's health care bills. More than 400,000 people are members, and they've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So, yes, they can handle your bills, too. This may be the time to make the switch. Join before November 30th for the additional savings. It's so easy to find out more. They're great to talk to. In fact, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Inflation has its bad points. Looks like real Christmas trees and artificial ones are going up in price this year.
You can expect to pay more for your Christmas tree this year and have fewer to choose from. Experts say you can expect to pay 10 to 30% more no matter whether it's a live tree or an artificial tree. Among the factors, fewer trees planted during the economic recession in 2009, which means fewer trees once they reach maturity 8 to 10 years later. Although real Christmas trees might be a dying trend, a survey in 2020 by the American Christmas Tree Association found that 85% of American households own artificial trees. From the USA Radio News Oregon Bureau, I'm Jeremy Scott.
The recent re-election of Nicaragua's President Daniel Ortega, dismissed by most of the free world as a sham and fraud, has sparked a renewed call for U.S. sanctions against the president, his wife, and 40 others. President Biden called the election a pantomime. USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Former President Trump was on Fox News over the weekend, slamming President Biden for allowing inflation to run rampant on the U.S. economy. He also says the Democrat president's agenda could sink America forever.
This country has tremendous potential, tremendous, but we're giving it away, and there'll be a point where the country can't come back, and we can never allow that point to be reached. So I think things are going to happen very big in the midterm elections, and I think in 2024 it's going to be a great result.
Representative Jim Jordan, the Republican from Ohio, told Newsmax the Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty verdict is a win for our country.
This was justice. This shows that the American system of due process works. This was a God bless America type of day for I think the country. You know, if that wasn't self-defense, Tom, tell me what is. So I think this is a win for due process. I think it's a win for our country. It's a win for the system where those jurors, knowing what was going on outside, knowing what Democrats were saying, reached the conclusion that the facts and the truth warranted. So it was also a win for the Second Amendment and for our Constitution. So I think all in all, it was a good day for freedom, a good day for the process, a good day for America.
Since his serious Southern California car crash, Tiger Woods, one of golf's all-time greats, was badly injured in February. Woods shared a video Sunday on social media showing him back on the golf course. USA Radio News, I'm Lance Pry.
Have you heard about Vine to Bar chocolate? It's the Winemakers Chocolate, the world's first chocolate made with well-vined Chardonnay marc from the beautiful coastal vineyards of North America. Gently pressed grapes are harvested after juicing, dried and finely milled and carefully blended into the finest dark chocolate. The Chardonnay marc contains highly beneficial grape nutrients, flavanols, and has a natural sweetness that flavors the luscious dark chocolate. Mouth-watering, flavorful, delectable dark chocolate goodness with Chardonnay sweetness and beneficial nutrients. And it's alcohol-free, too. It's Vine to Bar chocolate. Order some today at vinetobar.com. That's VINETOBAR.com. Cold shipped to your door, it's Vine to Bar. Vine to Bar chocolate. Visit us at vinetobar.com.
When you think super...
The OBGYN you choose matters. They will be by your side to guide you through the important stages of life, from puberty to childbirth to menopause and everything in between. Choose healthcare you can trust from the experts at BJC Medical Group, located right here in your community at Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. Visit MissouriBaptistSullivan.org to schedule your appointment with one of our board-certified OBGYNs. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital, your best medicine close to home.
This moment in history brings with it the chance to advance yourself while protecting our community. At BJC, you'll belong to a world-class healthcare system that offers tuition reimbursement available your first day, schedule flexibility, and 30,000 remarkable colleagues. You'll feel the unity and opportunity and find strength within. Apply now at bjcopportunity.org. Sign-on bonuses available.
Missouri Net News is presented by the Missouri Department of Labor's Shared Work Program. A positive work environment starts with security that jobs are safe. Go to sharedwork.mo.gov.
A St. Louis man has died after being shot by his 2-year-old child. Investigators say the 20-year-old man was shot by the child with a rifle on Saturday evening. Paramedics say he died at the scene. The investigation into alleged sex and labor trafficking by a Philippines-based church indicates there could be victims in Missouri.
Administrators of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ are accused of coercing girls and women to have sex with their church leader under threats of eternal damnation. The indictment alleges they brought church members to the U.S. via fraudulently obtained visas and forced them to solicit donations for a bogus charity. Prosecutors say the soliciting operation led to forced labor, trafficking, document servitude, marriage fraud, and money laundering. The FBI believes there may be victims in the Kansas City area. Missouri ranked 17th in the nation for reported human trafficking cases in 2017. Brent Palm, Missouri Net.
Anyone with information about the Kingdom of Jesus Christ Church is urged to contact the FBI's Kansas City field office. Thanksgiving is this week, and conflicts may be a way of life for some families and extended families. David Freeman with Dialogue and Resolve LLC says this year there will be some tough decisions about how we're going to interact with family members who don't agree with us on the latest issues.
The tangible stuff that we disagree about generally has underlying the surface what I call the RIPS, the relationships, my identity, the process we all think we should follow to resolve a disagreement, and then all the systems that we're a part of and all the challenge they throw into it. And learning to talk about that is an interesting challenge and relief in itself. However, that takes a lot of practice.
You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net.
With the new law, more people qualify for financial assistance at healthcare.gov. Real customers like Taylor.
You know, I wish people knew how easy it was to get health coverage. This new law has made it so affordable. I'm only paying $52 a month, but there are quality plans for even less.
New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Enroll by December 15th at healthcare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Throughout the pandemic, the need for crisis counseling services has increased. If you're struggling, you aren't alone. Show Me Hope Missouri's crisis counseling program is still here for you with free and confidential counseling. If you or anyone you know needs support, call or text 1-800-985-5990. Show Me Hope counselors listen with patience and without judgment. Just call or text 1-800-985-5990 or find a provider near you at moshowmehope.org.
You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net. A Missouri House subcommittee is working to boost access to mental health services. Reverend Charles Norris, president of the St. Louis Metropolitan Clergy Coalition, requested that members of faith be included in community mental health-related efforts. The coalition is working with 4 St. Louis schools in neighborhoods with the highest incidence of violence.
We realized that one of the first things is that they wouldn't even come to school, scared to come to school. All kinds of mental health issues, with the murder rate being what it is. That's the murder rate. St. Louis Children's Hospital is #1 in the country for treating child gunshots.
The coalition is providing social, emotional support to students and teachers. And the Kansas City Chiefs have improved their record to 7-4 with a victory over the Dallas Cowboys at Arrowhead yesterday. That final score 19-9. Next up, the Denver Broncos visit Arrowhead this coming Sunday at noon. More news online at MissouriNet.com. You're listening to the latest news on Missouri Net.
At Sullivan Bank, we offer competitive rates on your deposits and loans. We know rates are not everything. We are all about building relationships. Hello, this is Debbie Durham with Sullivan Bank. Knowing that you have someone you can talk to, whether it's to choose the right account or a home loan, Sullivan Bank will be here now and in the future. As a strong community bank, it's important to us to help you achieve financial success and have a trusting relationship in us. Sullivan Bank. Stop by today and let's chat.
Side and Sugar Novi partners are ready to cut a deal. For a limited time, save up to $1,000 on already low-priced 1 through 5 Series John Deere compact tractors. Tractor packages start as low as $179 a month, and all packages come with our 10-year warranty and low finance options. Don't miss out on these savings. Let's cut a deal now at Side and Sugar Novi, snpartners.com, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 10/29/21. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
In our local report of news on this Monday, a Union woman was injured in an accident early this morning on I-55 in Perry County at 12:18 a.m. A 2017 Ford Escape driven by 41-year-old Amy L. Jett of Union, Missouri, was traveling south on I-55 when the vehicle went off the left side of the roadway and struck the cable median barrier. Amy Jett suffered minor injuries, was taken by ambulance to the Perry County Memorial Hospital for treatment. At 10:45 Sunday morning in Franklin County, Highway Patrol reported a two-vehicle accident on westbound 100 at Highway KK. A 2013 Kia Soul, operated by 29-year-old Brittany E. Sartori of Union, was exiting a private drive onto westbound 100, failed to yield to a 2016 Kia Sorento, driven by 66-year-old Michael R. Lane of New Haven. The vehicles collided. Brittany Sartori suffered moderate injuries, was taken by Washington ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Washington. A passenger in the Sorento, 67-year-old Pamela S. Lane of New Haven, suffered moderate injuries. She was taken by Union ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Washington. At 7:12 p.m. Saturday, there was an accident on eastbound I-44 at the 225-mile marker at Sullivan. A 2007 Chevrolet Malibu driven by 67-year-old Patricia A. Danolds of Springfield, Missouri, traveling east on I-44, attempting to merge onto the interstate from the on-ramp, pulled out in front of a 2013 Freightliner conventional tractor-trailer operated by 37-year-old Christopher W. Kramer of Belleville, Illinois. The tractor-trailer struck the rear of the Malibu, forcing it off the right side of the roadway into an embankment and overturned. Patricia A. Danolds of Springfield suffered minor injuries. The passenger, 66-year-old Stephen Danolds of Springfield, also suffered minor injuries. Both were taken by Missouri Baptist ambulance to Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital for treatment. The Highway Patrol reported an arrest at 3:20 p.m. Sunday in Franklin County. 28-year-old Thomas C. Fowler of Londell was arrested on a Franklin County charge for no valid license. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. 2:30 a.m. Sunday in Franklin County, 40-year-old James R. Brown of St. Louis was arrested on a Franklin County probation violation for forgery and possession of controlled substance. Iron County warrant, failure to appear driving while revoked or suspended. St. Clair PD warrant, non-moving traffic violation for no insurance, no license, and moving violation speeding. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and held without bond. At 2:19 a.m. Sunday in Franklin County, 41-year-old Andrew W. Hitler of Union picked up on a St. Louis County warrant for dangerous drugs, possession, and controlled substance. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. 11:10 p.m. Saturday in Phelps County, Mason S. Burns, age 30 of Rolla, was arrested on DWI and speeding 51 in a 35 zone. He was taken to the Phelps County Jail and placed on 12-hour hold. At 9:27 a.m. Saturday at Phelps County, 27-year-old Aaron R. Perry of Indian Hill Park, Illinois, was arrested for felony possession of LSD, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia and speeding. He was taken to the Phelps County Jail, processed, and released. As a result of low blood donor turnout in recent months, the Red Cross is heading into the holidays with its lowest blood supply in more than a decade at this time of year. The ongoing effects of COVID-19 and a summer spike in the Delta variant cases significantly challenged the nation's blood supply heading into the fall. The pandemic also resulted in fewer blood drives at schools and colleges, contributing to a 34% drop in new blood donors from last year, one of the largest year-to-year decreases, and one that could threaten essential medical care for patients. Locally, the Missouri-Arkansas Red Cross region has experienced a 13.4% decrease in new blood donors this year. Don't wait. Humanity needs you to help patients enjoy all the holiday season has to offer. Make an appointment to give blood or platelets as soon as possible by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-733-2767. As a thank you, all those who come to give between November 29th and December 16th will automatically be entered in a chance to win a private screening for the winner and 50 of their guests for the epic new film, The Matrix Resurrections. Plus, those who come to give between November 29th and December 16th will also get a $10 Amazon.com gift card by email thanks to Amazon. Locally, there are blood drives going on today in Pacific from 1 until 6 p.m. at the Mission Community Church at 2001 West Osage, and in St. Clair from 2 until 6 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall in St. Clair at 204 South Commercial. There's a drive coming up next Monday at Cuba United Methodist Church from 2 till 6 6 p.m. Also next Monday from 2 to 6 at Coleman Elementary School in Villa Ridge. Franklin County Health Department reported Friday that 5 people had died from COVID-19, those deaths occurring in October. One was a 64-year-old man from Sullivan, a 66-year-old man from Grubbville, a 69-year-old woman from Villa Ridge, a 76-year-old man from St. Clair, and a 65-year-old woman from Gerald. There's an 80-year-old Union woman listed as a probable death. Franklin County had confirmed 219 deaths and 36 probable deaths from COVID-19. There were 194 new cases last week in Franklin County. Hospitalizations increased to 4. The Sullivan Schools Board of Education meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at the Boardroom Administrative Building at 138 Taylor Street. Under public comments, Sarah McFall will have comments on the current privacy policy. There's also special recognitions for middle school student Manny Webster. They will have the payment of bills and the consent agenda. Under old business, they'll go over the academic achievement recognition for graduates. Under new business, approval of surplus property bids. They'll have the building reports, and there's also a closed session. The public is invited. City of Sullivan collecting leaves for city residents beginning next Monday, the 29th, through December 10th on your regular trash collection day, weather permitting. This year will be a free service to Sullivan city limit residents only through the dates listed. After the posted dates, if service is requested, a $35 charge will apply. Paid vacuum service will end on December the 17th. City crews will collect leaves on each street one time only during the scheduled collection week. If you have any questions, need more information, contact the Sullivan Street Department, 468-4912. That's your look at local news on this Monday. This is Bobby D.
What do you do when water doesn't flow? Low pressure, clicking sounds from the pressure tank, pump runs constantly? You contact Schrepfer Well Drilling, your water pro. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to handle whatever water issue you're experiencing. Schrepfer Well Drilling also handles a full line of water treatment equipment. Hard water, red water, sulfur, it can all be treated. Family owned and operated since 1953. They can repair your pump system and improve your water quality. Your family owned water company, Schrepfer Well Drilling.
Psychologists, licensed professional counselors, and licensed clinical social workers, Compass Health Network is looking for you. The need is great in our communities, and we are currently hiring licensed staff to help us care for those that need us most. Compass Health Network offers a supportive environment of over 250 clinicians, excellent training, a competitive salary, and great benefits. Join us as we inspire hope and promote wellness. Visit careers.compasshealthnetwork.org and apply today.
In recent funeral announcements, Lena Lee, née Boyer of St. Clair, passed away November 16th at the age of 86. Funeral services will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, with burial in Lubring Citizens Community Cemetery at Lubring. Visitation will be held after 9 o'clock this morning till services at 11 at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Lubring Citizens Community Cemetery in memory of Lena Lee. Robert Nix of Gerald passed away November 17th at the age of 83. Funeral services will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at Ebenezer Stone Church with burial in the church cemetery. All arrangements by the Gottenstrader Funeral Chapel in Gerald. Shirley Dean Giddens, née Ellington of Washington, Missouri, passed away November 14th at the age of 84. A memorial visitation will be held from 4 until 5:30 p.m. this afternoon at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Private committal will be held at a later date. Memorials may be made to the Franklin County Humane Society in memory of Shirley Dean Giddens. Hal A. Hengstenberg of Owensville passed away November 18th at the age of 64. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. Tuesday at Gottenstrader Funeral Home in Owensville. Visitation will be held from 4 until 8 o'clock today at the Gottenstrader Funeral Home in Owensville for Hal Hengstenberg. Irma Lee Abney, née Midyat of Davisville, passed away November 17th at the age of 82. Funeral services will be held at 1 p.m. Tuesday at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville, with interment at Upper Indian Creek Cemetery at Viburnum. Visitation for Irma Lee Abney will be held from 5 until 8 p.m. tonight at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville. Shirley Vaughn of Gerald passed away November 18th at the age of 71. Funeral services will be held Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Gerald, with burial in Schmidt Cemetery on Highway H in Gerald. Visitation for 71-year-old Shirley Vaughn will be held from 9 a.m. till services at 11 a.m. Wednesday at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Gerald. Mahala Fritz Girardi, née Ringling of St. Clair, passed away November 19th at the age of 88. Funeral services will be held at 10 a.m. this Saturday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, with burial in Midlawn Memorial Gardens near Union. Visitation will be held from 3 until 8 p.m. Friday, then again after 9 a.m. on Saturday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Liberty Baptist Church in St. Clair, or Mercy Hospice in Washington, or Pregnancy Assistance in Washington, in memory of Mahala Fritz Girardi. The completed funeral announcements with all the survivors will air during our expanded edition of KTUI News at 8 o'clock this morning.
A lifetime of love, you lived a lifetime of
Often, the loss of a loved one is when we realize how special they were.
I could never imagine life without Mom. Now I want to say thank you.
Honoring the times of our lives, it would be our privilege to serve your family.
the lifetime of love.
Don and Lisa Mizell, Mizell Funeral Home, Cuba.
Adventure is calling. Answer all season long with this can't-miss deal from Cooper Tires at Joe's Tire Company in Owensville. From October 14th until November 8th, when you buy 4 qualifying Cooper Tires, you can claim up to a $70 Cooper Tires reward. Enjoy every mile with the high-performance durability of our entire Discoverer AT3 family of tires, Discoverer Tour North, and Evolution Winter, plus our new Cooper Endeavor and Endeavor Plus lines. Visit us.coopertire.com/promotions for forms, terms, and conditions, or stop by and see the experts at Joe's Tire Company in Owensville today.
From the KTUI Weatherbug Weather Center, for this morning, expecting mostly cloudy skies. Sunny this afternoon, a high temperature of 43 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear and cool, a low of 29. On Tuesday, sunny, a high of 54. Tuesday night, mostly clear, a low of 41. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a high of 60. Wednesday night, rain likely, low 35. And on your Thursday, expecting partly sunny skies, a chance of a morning shower, high temperature 44. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We currently have partly cloudy skies, 32 degrees at the studios of KTUI. Happy birthday to Jody Fieser and Little John. John Rice having a birthday today. Coming up after 7:30, we'll be visiting on the phone with U.S. Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer. And then after 8:30 today, Brady Vasali will be in to talk about what's going on at the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Again, 32 degrees right now, and we'll have sports after these words.
Wrist of a rebel.
What did you do to your hair?
What?
The specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Prescription Eucrisa for mild to mild.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy at Edward Jones is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Don A. Greenwald. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for what life throws at you. Call us at 573-468-6046 or visit edwardjones.com to learn more. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hi, this is Ryan Juergens, loan officer at First State Community Bank in Sullivan. Are you wanting a home with acreage, a hobby farm, or simply looking for a short-term loan? At First State Community Bank, we're offering a new 7-year adjustable rate mortgage program. Check out our 7-1 and 7-3 options, available to those with a 680 credit score or higher. Stop by to see our team today about the possibility of getting started.
First State Community Bank, member FDIC, online at fscb.com.
Looking at sports on this Monday, Rupi Hintz scored 2 shorthanded goals for the Dallas Stars in a 4-1 win over the Blues Saturday night in Dallas. Brandon Saad had the only goal for the Blues. They are back at home against the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Pregame at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10. You'll hear tonight's game on 102.1 KTUI FM. A Tyler Beatty touchdown run and a Connor Bazelak to Daniel Parker Jr. 2-point conversion pass in the first overtime period gave the Missouri Tigers a 24-23 win over the Florida Gators on Saturday and made them bowl eligible for the second consecutive season. The Tigers will finish off their regular season with the Battle Line showdown against Arkansas on Friday at Fayetteville. Kickoff set for 2:30. On Sunday, the Tigers picked up a verbal commitment from 2023 4-star tight end Brett Norfleet out of Francis Howell High School. He's a standout pitcher and first baseman as well and plans to play baseball at Mizzou along with football. The 6'7", 225-pound junior rated the nation's number 12 tight end for the 2023 recruiting class and the number 7 overall prospect in Missouri. Missouri State Bears football team, 8-3 on the season, closed out their regular season in impressive fashion, rolling up 574 yards total offense and a 55-24 win over Dixie State in Utah. The Bears have now qualified for the NCAA FCS playoffs and will host 9-2 UT Martin on Saturday at 3 p.m. After going down by 13 points in the second half, the Missouri Tigers went 7 of 10 from the field in the final 6 minutes to tie the ball game, sent to overtime where they beat SMU 80-75, going to 2-0 in the Jacksonville Classic. They'll face off against Florida State tonight at 7:30, the championship game of the Duval bracket. Our pregame coverage at 7 on KTUI 94.1 FM, 1560 AM, and the TuneIn app. Missouri women's basketball picked up its 4th consecutive victory, beating Idaho State 75-47 Sunday afternoon at home. Izzy Higginbottom led the team with 18 points, Lauren Hansen 15, Sarah Rose Smith with 10. Mizzou back at home on Tuesday when they will host Troy, tip-off at 7 o'clock. St. Louis U Billikens guard Fred Thatch Jr. had a career-high 20 points, leading the Billikens past Mercer 75-58 on Saturday. In a campus game of the Cancun Challenge, the Billikens will carry a 4-1 record in Mexico, where they'll play Illinois State on Tuesday. Missouri State Lady Bears women's basketball team improved to 3-1 on the year with a 67-41 victory over the USC Trojans on Saturday in Los Angeles. And the MSU Bears men's team playing in the Naples Invitational, Naples, Florida, opening up with a game tonight against Long Beach State at 7 o'clock. The College of the Ozarks men's basketball team beat the host school Viterbo University at the Viterbo Invitational Saturday by a score of 76-64. Tanner Diaz from Steelville did not score in the game but had 3 rebounds and 1 steal for College of the Ozarks. The Lady Bobcats lost at Benedictine College 72-58 Saturday night. They were outscored 41-21 in the second and third quarters combined as Benedictine secured the win. Kyra Hardesty from Washington led the Bobcats with 12 points. Vaughn University women's basketball team held off the Barclay Bears in a 69-62 win on Saturday. Kaya Harbor from Sullivan had 3 points, 5 assists, a rebound, and a steal. Haley Busher from St. Clair again responded off the bench with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Griffins are back in action on Tuesday, visiting Knox College at 5 o'clock. Webster University women's basketball team beat Hendricks Arkansas College 87-47 Saturday to improve to 5-0 for the first time in program history. Hannah Cottrell from Stillville had another full stat line with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block. The Gorlocks are back on the court Tuesday, hosting Stevens College, a non-conference matchup at 5:30. William Woods University women's basketball team fell to Missouri Valley College Saturday afternoon 80-63. Steelville's Sydney Booker dropped in 14 points with 6 rebounds in the loss. The Westminster College men's team put together a big second-half rally to beat the Crusaders of the University of Dallas 81-68 in their second game of the Webster Classic in St. Louis on Saturday. Blue Jays will travel to Lindenwood University in St. Charles on Tuesday for an exhibition matchup against the Division II team. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Missouri S&T women's basketball team back in action Saturday afternoon against Missouri Southern State, lost 74-50. The Miners are on the road for a matchup with Northwest Missouri State in Maryville at 6 o'clock tonight. Mineral Area College women's basketball team split their 2 games in the Region 16 Classic in Mineral Area over the weekend, beating State Fair Community College 68-49 on Friday. Quincy Erickson from Herman had 12 points in that game. Mineral Area lost to 3 Rivers 91-82 on Saturday. The Wofford University women's basketball team claimed their first victory this season with a 106-55 drubbing of the Southern Wesleyan Warriors Friday night. Freshman Reagan Rapert from Union had 10 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals for Wofford. At the Co-College Wrestling Invitation on Saturday, Missouri Baptist University freshman Dylan Witt from Sullivan went 2-2 on the day and finished 4th at 125 pounds. Zachary Ochterberg from St. James lost both of his matches on Saturday. For the MBU women, Heather Ochterberg from St. James went 2-2, but did not make the placement round at the Missouri Valley Open on Saturday. William Jewell freshman Allison Meyer from Washington was 1-2 at that tournament. And the Missouri Baptist University women's cross-country team wrapped up one of its most successful seasons at the 2021 NEIA Cross-Country National Championships on Friday. Freshman Maya Reed from Washington made the most of her debut, finishing in the top half of the field, placing 137th with a time of 19 minutes 52.5 seconds. In local sports from Saturday and scores, In state quarterfinal football was Cardinal Ritter beating Owensville 48-6. Dutchmen finish up their year 9-3. Girls basketball Saturday, the BSN shootout in Rolla. St. James edged Blue Eye 48-46. In the varsity game, St. James winning the JV matchup between those two schools 46-27. At Miller Career Academy, it was Union girls picking up a win over Gateway Legacy 40-34. In boys basketball, at the BSN shootout in Rolla on Saturday, Capital City came back to beat Pacific 77-45. In a JV game at Lynn, it was Lynn over Bell 38-27. At the Wright City girls wrestling tournament at 115 pounds, Janessa Ablett from St. Clair finishing first. Caitlin Scott of Borges second. At 120, Lily Zimmerman of Union was third, and Karen Dietzler from Sullivan was fourth. At 125, Jade Studdard of Sullivan fourth, Charlie Sullivan of Union fifth, Andrea Penovich from St. Clair was sixth. 130 pounds, first place goes to Audrey DeClue of St. Clair. Second, Amy Callahan of Borgia. Third, Riley Ostendorf of St. Clair. And sixth to Cassandra Pritchett of Sullivan. At 135 pounds, Josie Hopkins from St. Clair was second. Lauren Karch of Borgia was third. At 141, Dory Richardson of Sullivan taking first place. Hannah Thacker of St. Clair was third. Gracie Strautman of Union fourth. And Peyton Dunn of St. Clair sixth. At 149, Caitlin Jansen from St. Clair finished first. Juliana Grady of Sullivan was second. Maria Schatzel Sullivan third. Olivia Lauder of St. Clair was fifth. And Sadie Altimus of Sullivan sixth. At 159, Ruby Daly of Sullivan first. Chloe Parks of Sullivan second. Katie Summers of Sullivan fourth. And Holly Pritchett from Sullivan was fifth. At 174, Jaden Hodges of Sullivan taking first place. Gianna Schreck of Union was second. At 235, Rhea Bristow of Sullivan was first, and Mackenzie Logston of Sullivan was second. Looking at the schedule of games on tap for tonight, in girls basketball, Bell at Richland, JV and varsity 5:30. Owensville will be at Borgia, and that is a 6 o'clock start now. The game was originally at Owensville, been moved to Borgia, JV and varsity starting at 6. St. Clair at Festus 5:30. Bourbon at New Haven, Father Tolton at Herman. Poplar Bluff at St. James, Steelville at Grandview, Saxony Lutheran at Union are all JV and varsity starting at 6 o'clock. The Sullivan girls game against DeSoto has been moved to Sullivan on Tuesday night starting at 5:30 for the JV game, and we will broadcast that game on Tuesday night. Boys basketball coming up tonight will be a freshman game, New Haven at Washington at 5:30. The Borgia tournament gets underway tomorrow night. First round games on Tuesday. Number 1 Fort Zumwalt North against Owensville at 6. Number 4 Union against Washington at 7:30. On Wednesday, it's University City and Gateway at 6. Borgia and Pacific at 7:30. Semifinals are Friday. And then the 7th place, consolation, 3rd place, and championship games are Saturday at Borgia. Also on Tuesday night, Sullivan the freshmen will be at Salem at 5:30. Sullivan boys JV and varsity at Fort Zumwalt East at 5:30. Other games, Valley at Bourbon, Cuba at Houston, Dixon at Steelville are all 5:30 starts. Newburgh at St. Clair, Bell at New Haven, Wright City at Herman starting at 6. Washington at Troy for a freshman game on Tuesday at 6:15. In wrestling tonight, St. James will be at School of the Osage for a boys and girls dual meet at 5 o'clock. In middle school wrestling, Owensville and St. Clair will be at a tri-meet at Union at 5 o'clock. And in middle school boys basketball tonight, Steelville at St. James, Washington and Waynesville. Those are 5:30 tip-offs. Sports on the air, we have Blues hockey tonight. Pre-game at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10 on 102.1 KTUI FM. And Mizzou basketball taking on Florida State with pregame at 7 and tip-off at 7:30 on 94.1 FM, 1560 AM, and the TuneIn app. That's your look at sports on a Monday. This is Bobby D. 25 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. And let's go to the phone lines with me right now. And I believe we have Congressman Blaine Luetkemeyer on the line. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, Well, the big bill made it through the House and is going on to the Senate, and I know you had several things to say about that bill, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's a horrible piece of legislation. All you have to do is go back to the beginning of the year, and there was $1 trillion of unspent funds from the previous bills that we passed back in 2020. And this administration insisted on spending another $1.9 trillion that they approved in February. And then along comes infrastructure bill here of 1.2, which over 70% of that is not infrastructure. But they passed that 2-3 weeks ago, and so now you're at $4.1 trillion of additional funds that are in this economy that CBO says we don't even need, because we would have had an increase of 5% on our GDP if we just left everything alone. So now you wind up with inflation, you wind up with all sorts of other problems as a result of this, and besides all the debt that we're incurring, and now they want to add another $1.85 trillion. In this bill, the one they passed on Friday, good grief, there's so much stuff in there, and there's taxes that are increased on almost everybody. The Joint Committee on Taxation says 2/3 of the taxes are going to be borne by low and middle income taxpayers, in spite of what Joe Biden says about this $400,000 threshold for nobody underneath that going to pay taxes. That's a bunch of baloney. Over $400 billion, this is going to be borne by small businesses. The exact people who right now, while they are the drivers of our economy, they're also feeling the brunt of this COVID problem that we've had for the last almost 2 years now, and are just getting barely back on their feet, and now they're going to get slammed with these additional taxes. This is nuts. A lot of stuff in this bill is not stuff in my mind that we really need. This is Green New Deal stuff. They're trying to start over 150 new programs. And the nearest thing to eternal life is a government program and a bad liberal idea, and they're both in this bill. It is just a bad piece of legislation. It's something we don't need. It's a liberal wish list that the American people, number one, don't want, and number two, can't afford. And it's going to stymie our economy. It's going to stagnate our economy, and could throw us into recession if this thing goes in any farther. And no doubt it's going to continue to inflate the prices of everything that we buy and exacerbate all of those things along with that. So, you got some particulars. We're glad to discuss it, but that, from an overview, that's kind of my thought process on the bill.
Well, one of the things that I have been a big thing for me when I'm getting information about this, especially these last two, the one passed Friday and the infrastructure bill a couple of weeks ago, the liberals, the Democrats have always said, we need the wealthy to pay their fair share. And you look at both of these bills, and it gives more loopholes for the wealthy. I think $285 billion for the richest of the rich, and again, a lot of those are located in Democratic states. So what's up with that?
Well, that's the only way they get it passed. The state and local tax deduction that we capped at $10,000 in the tax bill back in 2017 causes the top 1%ers, the most wealthy people in this country, to pay more taxes. And so in the 2017 bill, in fact, everybody said, oh, it was a tax break to the rich. In fact, it was a tax on the rich. The numbers will show that. And what they've done in this bill is do just the opposite. This bill, the second largest thing in here that people get a break for are the rich. In this state and local tax deduction thing, as you just said, $280 billion going to the wealthiest people in this country. This is the way that they could get the folks on the two coasts, California, New York, and New Jersey, to be able to go along with this bill, because their constituents were screaming about the capping of those deductions. But if you want the wealthiest in this country to pay their fair share, that is the best way to go about it. And if you pull the plug on that particular provision, you've just given them the biggest tax break in history, $280 billion. Holy smokes! So they needed that to pay for this bill, which still is not paid for, by the way. Still $380 billion short. So, but basically, it was a tax break for the folks on the coast to be able to get the votes they needed from the congressmen on the coast.
Another thing I saw in this, tax breaks for Ivy League schools and universities totaling somewhere in the neighborhood of $7.8 billion in an environmental justice tax credit for schools that support climate change studies. Now, this has been a big thing for the Democrats, is the climate change. And I don't know, to me, I don't think they have gone far enough as far as what the repercussions of a lot of what they want to do and how it's going to affect climate change. And yet they're giving these huge tax cuts and relief to all this Green New Deal stuff, it just, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, no, you're exactly right, and none of this is, quite frankly, supported by science, some of the things that they've got in here. In fact, when you look at the electric charging stations and the tax breaks to the rich, again, for being able to buy electric cars are very, very expensive, and the only way you can entice a lot of people to buy them is give them tax breaks, and the only people who can afford some of these electric cars sometimes are the very, very wealthy people. So, again, it's another giveaway to those folks. But, again, if you stop and think about this, Bobby, they've got if you ever do the science and the cause and effect on the climate with regards to electric cars, it costs more on our climate than leaving it alone with the gasoline engine cars. And here's why: the electricity it takes. Right now, we have 2% of the cars in this country are electric. If you electrified the other 98%, number one, the electric grid couldn't handle it.
Right.
Number two, there's not electric capability of actually getting that electricity out there to do that. So how do you do that? It's going to take a whole lot of other things, other ways, and if you're going to do it by solar and wind, you're going to have to ramp up a whole lot of other things. And those believe it or not, those things are very, very highly climate change negative rather than positive when you produce all of those products for those things. Then you look at the electric cars themselves and the batteries. The batteries are a disaster for the environment. If you have these great big batteries that are full of chemicals that are absolutely destroy the environment, this is a disaster waiting to happen by all these electric cars. Yet they're out here touting these things. I told them whenever they were proposing this, I said, you know what you really need to do if you're worried about the climate? Why don't you make more environmentally friendly gas pumps rather than electric charging stations, because 98% of the cars still use gas. Why don't you take care of the 98% instead of 2%?
Yeah.
This whole group, this climate group, and the woke folks all think backwards. They do not understand economics. They do not understand the practical application of things that they're trying to impose on us. If you look all the way through the situation that they're trying to propose here, whatever it is, you'll see at the very end that it actually costs more, whether it's economically more cost or climate more cost than what they're proposing. And yet they just keep throwing it down your throat, trying to force some of this on us. It's nuts.
And I see you had put out some information the other day on Twitter, and I kind of copied some of that out. $2.5 billion for tree equity. And what can you tell me about that?
Well, I don't really know.
I mean, are we giving injections to small trees to make them bigger so that they feel equal? I don't understand this.
Well, we have a proposal ourselves. It's called a tree and tree proposal to try and do something about the environment. That actually works, where you're actually cleaning up the carbon in the environment. But there are initiatives in here, all these green energy things, and this is all this bill is green energy stuff. The $700 billion of the infrastructure bill was green energy. It was Green New Deal stuff. Much of it doesn't work. Much of it's not economically feasible, and some of it's laughable, as you just said.
Well, and I see there's a natural gas tax included in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's just right there. Pardon me, but that's ignorant. When you see what natural gas prices have been doing before this was passed, does it make any sense to raise it even higher?
Well, I don't think so personally, and obviously you don't either.
Yeah, I just
think, what's going on here. The average person right now, if you leave without this little additional tax on, is going to pay additional $242 a year, or this winter, and higher taxes, or higher fuel costs. Now you add some more taxes on top of that, it's going to be significantly more as well. So, and quite frankly, this is the thing that's underpinning our inflation right now is energy costs.
Right.
And the foolishness of this administration, they've gone over to the Middle East and asked the Middle East, the OPEC countries, to open up their spigots so that we can have more oil in the world and drive the price down. And of course, the OPEC folks laughed at them. And then now the president this last week decided that we need to be investigating the oil companies for price gouging and these higher prices. Well, look in the mirror and you can see where the cause of higher priced gas is. It's the president and his policies. first thing he did when he walked into office was close the pipeline down up north and stop permitting additional drilling. 2 weeks ago, he decided he was thinking about, announced anyway, that he was thinking about closing another pipeline up in Michigan. I mean, this is nuts. We were energy independent, and now we are dependent again on Middle East oil, and that is a national security issue, by the way, that is extremely important to us to not have in place. The previous administration, Trump worked very hard to get us back to energy independence, so we could have this safety and security issue off the table. And now this president is endangering us again. This is nuts. These people are doing everything they can to endanger our country and its future in every way that they can.
Well, yeah, I mean, weren't we actually energy surplus? I mean, weren't we actually selling oil and things on the global market?
That's correct. We were.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, the list goes on, and we could spend a whole lot more time than we have probably going over all this stuff on there. But okay, now both of these bills are going to the Senate. What is your feel on where it's going to go in the Senate? I mean, there have been a couple of different Senate races that may have changed the landscape a little bit. Do you think it's going to make it through, or is it going to be a fight?
Well, I'm concerned. It'll not make it through in its present form. That's for sure. I think that there is a chance that there's anywhere from 2 to 5 senators over there that are going to sit down and try and redo this thing such that it'll drop down in price, drop down in benefits, not be quite so onerous on our small businesses and low and moderate income folks with taxes. But the SALT deduction is a huge issue. If they leave that in there, that's the only way they can pass it in the House. If that goes out, they will not pass in the House when it comes back. And I'd say there's probably enough interest in the Senate probably to keep it in there as well. But that gives them a real problem, though, because there's and then the energy stuff, what the energy taxes, the things you just talked about. Senator Manchin comes from an energy state, West Virginia, and he wants all that stuff out of there. I know Senator Sinema in Arizona does not want any tax increases in there at all. That's got to come out. So when you start paring it back, I don't know what they're going to wind up with, but they'll wind up with something just to save face. But it's not going to be what we sent, what the House leadership sent over there anyway. At this point, it's kind of a guessing game of what's going to be left in there, but it's going to be reworked significantly.
All right. Well, Congressman, again, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it as always, and we will talk to you again next month. And hopefully we've got some good news about some things to talk about when we get back with you next time.
Well, we're hopeful. We're the people of Virginia and New Jersey and all around other folks around the country spoke pretty loudly a couple of weeks ago, and this group in charge right now is not listening to them. The American people are going to have the last laugh on this. They get to go to the ballot boxes and make the changes, and I think that will happen. In the meantime, though, we've got another year of this nonsense going on, and we're all going to have to hunker down and hold on. With higher inflation and some other things that these people are going to get us into. But thanks for the time this morning, Bobby, and wish everyone a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. Hope that everybody is able to spend some time with their family and friends and enjoy the holiday and the reason for the holiday. So take care.
You bet, sir. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well.
Thank you. Take care.
Congressman Blaine Lukemeyer, U.S. Congress, 3rd District of Missouri, our guest here this morning on the air. Coming up now, just about 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock, we've got some clouds, and we're holding steady at 32 degrees. Mike Bittner will join me right after you hear these messages.
Hey everybody, it's Laurie from The Secret Kitchen, wishing you all a blessed and happy Thanksgiving. We're so very thankful for all of our customers. We know you have many choices when it comes to shopping, and we're really thankful that you choose us. Another way we can say thank you to everyone is a great sale coming up on Friday and Saturday, November 26th and 27th, Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. We'll be offering 25% off all regularly priced items in our store. So if there's something you've had your eye on, this is the time to get it. We'll see everybody there. 10 1 West Main Street, downtown Sullivan, Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 9 to 3.
Hi, this is Nick from Schmidt Auto Center in Sullivan. We all know that this is a strange time for products and services in America and around the world. For us, the interruption in supply lines for new vehicles have driven up the prices of pre-owned vehicles up dramatically. This is not what Schmidt Auto Center wants for our customers, and I do my very best to find quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs at the lowest prices we can manage. If you don't see what you're looking for on our lot, contact me and I will find it for you. You can reach me at 573-468-2233, or you can look at our inventory online at schmidtautocenter.com.
Thank you very much, Nick. And I want to tell you about Midstate Paving. They're located out on Hardacre Road. You need to give Jim a call for all of your paving needs. Also, if you need some site work done, drainage, septic services, grading, lake dredging and repair, demolition, streets, parking lots, and driveways, they do it all. Maybe do some chip seal or seal coating. Whatever you need to give Midstate Paving a call. And they're located at Hardacre Road, the number 573-627-2039. That is 573-627-2039 for Midstate Paving. And sitting in with me across the way, Mike Bittner. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Bobby. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine today. And let me get to your...
Oh, they don't know. Nobody needs to see me.
I'm trying to get this. Of course, the thing is, I move this, and then I have to wait about 10 seconds to see on the far side over there if it actually catches it. By golly, I moved it the right direction. Got you right in the middle of the picture.
Oh, that's not good. Sorry for that.
Yeah. Happy birthday today, Jody Feeser.
Yep.
And
the big little guy.
Little John Rice is celebrating his birthday today.
He was big. Now he's small.
Yeah. Well, he's
still not.
tall.
He's still pretty tall. Well, everybody's taller than me.
Yeah. Well, this is true.
I got a grandson that's a foot taller than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I have no idea, actually.
But anyway, happy birthday to those two. Yet to come this morning, I've got Bertie Vasali is going to be coming in from the Fraternal Order of Eagles. He'll be here after the 8:30, or around 8:30 after the news, and we'll talk about what's going on at the Eagles. I'm sure they have several holiday things coming up.
I know
they
have
a
Thanksgiving
dinner and some Christmas holiday stuff. So there'll be several things that we'll talk about with Brady. So how was your weekend?
It was good. Came in and went to a shower, a baby shower.
A baby shower.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I realize, ladies, please don't send cards and letters at me. I realize that everybody and their brother now is having it as couples.
Yeah.
And this was nice. They really did it nice. They kept the guys entertained, but it's just not something that I really enjoy to do.
Yeah. And it's a new trend.
Yeah. Yeah.
There for years it's just like, for the bride had a wedding shower.
Yep.
Guys didn't go.
Right.
You mean guys had a bachelor party or whatever, but now and baby showers. Yeah, I can see a little bit more for a baby shower for the husband to be there.
And he was,
makes a little bit, for the father to be there.
It was our nephew from Branson.
Yeah, it makes more sense. But to have all the other like husbands and boyfriends of the ladies attending there, I'm just like, I don't know. It would be a bit uncomfortable. It's just not the guy thing. But to each their own.
Cute name, though. They're going to name the baby Hazel.
Hazel. That's an old-fashioned name.
Yeah.
You don't hear names like that much anymore.
I like it.
Well, something big that happened on this date back in 1963. Where were you?
When the president was
shots
killed.
Were fired. Yeah.
I was actually in 6th grade at Bridgeway Elementary School at 6th grade in my music class when we got the news.
We were. My mom's family is from Western Kentucky, around Madisonville and that part of the state. And as it fell that year, we were down there for Thanksgiving. We had gone down to see her relatives and family for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And as I can remember, because I was like 4 years old, and I can remember this. I had just actually turned 4 in September before he was killed. But I can remember we were sitting around watching TV, and the bulletins came on, and I didn't understand what happened. I figured out that somebody was dead.
Yes.
Somebody important had been shot. But my folks explained to it. The adults explained it a little bit. And, 4 years old.
Right. Right.
President, who's but I can still distinctly remember that. Even at 4, we were a bunch of us were sitting around TV watching, a holiday show or cartoons or something, and the bulletins came off and came up, and then they had all the coverage, and I think some of my cousins kind of got a little bored with it. It's just like it kept going on and on and on.
It did. It lasted. Well, that was
but I mean,
world news. I mean,
and you didn't have the internet.
Right.
You didn't have the cell phones. You didn't have the instant communication where you could update things so quickly.
Right.
You had to there had to be some digging and investigating and
most of ours was on radio. Yeah. Information.
And so it took a while to get all of it in, and it did get boring because the TV people didn't have that much information because they weren't being told that much because it was still a fluid situation. So they kept repeating the same stuff over and over and over and over. But I don't know. I can remember finding it kind of interesting, and I probably sat there and watched a good portion of it while it was going on. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So President John F. Kennedy assassinated. Texas Governor John B. Connally is seriously wounded on this date back in 1963 in Dallas, Texas.
Now it depends on which side you believe, which conspiracy theory you believe.
Yeah, the grass.
Did Oswald act alone? Did he do it at all? Was Jack Ruby an enforcer that that ended it?
Was he with the Russians?
It's just so many things.
We'll never know. Yeah,
we'll never know.
Yeah, I know. Even some of the stuff that's been declassified that you can look at. All it does is raise more questions. It doesn't answer anything.
That's in the Book of Secrets.
Yeah, the Book of Secrets.
It's a Library of Congress on the third floor. Behind what book was? I forget what book was it.
Okay. You're one of those I can see believing that.
No, I don't believe it at all.
Okay. Also on this date in 1986, at the age of 20, Mike Tyson became the youngest world heavyweight boxing champion, knocking out Trevor Berbick in the second round in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Iron Mike Tyson. He fell from grace pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did real fast.
I mean,
you bite off a guy's ear, that kind of.
It's not a good look.
No.
For you or the guy without the ear.
That's true.
What else you got?
There was some really neat stuff that, in 1935, the flying boat China Clipper takes off from Alameda carrying 100,000 pieces of mail on the first trans-Pacific airmail flight.
Yeah.
On this date, 1935.
Pan Am Airline.
Yep, on the China Clipper. Yep. This is kind of neat too. And if you play golf, you'll wonder. But 1910, Arthur Knight patented steel shaft golf clubs.
1910,
and I thought they were still hickory back in 1910, but evidently they weren't. And they're still steel today, steel and graphite.
Graphite, titanium, and a bunch of different alloys. And I had an old set of persimmon woods at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold them for way less than I should have.
You should have held on to them. They really were something now.
Yeah, I would be. I basically gave those things away at a yard sale when I stopped playing golf.
One last thing, we can get the rest of them later. 1944, a great film, Meet Me in St. Louis, starring Judy Garland.
Yep.
And directed by Vincent Minnelli. Previewed in St. Louis on Washington Avenue at the Lowe's State Theater.
Lowe's State Theater.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that still there?
I think it's gone now, but I think the building's still there.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, all right. So Meet Me in St. Louis. That was a big one.
Yep.
Yeah, good movie too. All right, coming up, we have news at the top of the hour, and for whoever's calling us,
we'll get you in a minute.
Yeah, Mike will get you in a minute here, but we don't have anybody to sit to answer the phones. We've got news coming up from the USA Radio Network. We'll have Missouri Net. And local news, we'll have funeral announcements, sports, and all that. And as I mentioned, Brady Vasali will be in with the Eagles coming up after 8:30. And happy birthday to Jody Fieser and John Rice today. You are listening to KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, Sullivan, Missouri. You can get us on YouTube Live and on the TuneIn app. It's 8 o'clock, and time now for the news.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Today our community faced horror and tragedy in what should have been a community celebration. I'm deeply saddened to know that so many in our community went to a parade but ended up dealing with injury and heartache.
In what appears to be an intentional act, a person drove an SUV into a parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin Sunday afternoon. Mayor Sean Riley went on to say that this was a senseless act. Waukesha Police Chief Dan Thompson.
We're no longer looking for a suspect vehicle. We do have a person of interest in custody at the moment, but this is still a very fluid investigation.
A handful of souls have died and over 3 dozen injured. This year's Thanksgiving won't be immune to the supply chain issues, but no need to worry. Butterball CEO Chairman Jay John Train says the only turkey compromise families might have to make this year is buying a bigger bird than they actually need. USA Radio News.
America is built and based on liberties and freedoms. Liberty HealthShare brings that to healthcare. The liberty of choosing your own doctor. The liberty of choosing your own hospital. Liberty HealthShare makes healthcare affordable to millions of Americans. Ignite your liberty. Sharing plans starting at $199 for a single, $399 for a couple, and no matter how big the family, only $529. That's $529 for the entire family. To learn how you can save, go to lightyourliberty.com. That's lightyourliberty.com.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. Yeah, that's better. Big news. The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera with 50% off a new system this week. Visit simplysafe.com.
A majority of Americans disapprove of President Biden's job performance.
President Biden not faring well on race relations, the economy, immigration, or inflation. A new poll released Sunday by CBS News and YouGov found that only 1/3 of those surveyed approve of how President Biden has handled inflation. 82% of those surveyed said items are costing them more than they did just not long ago. Less than half of respondents approve of those other major issues. The president did get high marks in his handling of the coronavirus vaccine. The poll of just over 2,000 adults found that 44% approve of the president's job in office. From the USA Radio News Oregon Bureau, I'm Jeremy Scott.
The new movie by Sony Pictures, Ghostbusters Afterlife, racked up $44 million this weekend, exceeding expectations and unseating Disney's Eternals. The fourth installment in the spooky franchise was projected to gross $30 to $35 million in its opening weekend. The film was delayed by more than a year by the COVID-19 pandemic. USA Radio News.
Lights out, everybody.
Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet.
Pleasant dreams.
The greatest radio shows of all time, USA Classic Radio Theater, on these radio stations or on demand by searching USA Classic Radio Theater. USA Classic Radio Theater.
Kyle Rittenhouse speaks out to Fox News after being found not guilty by 12 of his peers.
This case has nothing to do with race. It never had anything to do with race. It had to do with the right to self-defense. I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating.
Kyle's mother, Wendy, says he is remorseful.
He does have remorse. Like if people say if he can do it again, he would. I said he would do it again, but talking to him now, he would never want down there if this ever happened again. He would never.
Music service Spotify is changing some of its format to accommodate a musician.
Let it be known that
Adele making news as she's released her 4th album, but it's the first in some time. And now Spotify confirms it's removing its default album shuffle feature at Adele's request. Listeners will instead hear the tracks in their listed order. Adele thanked the streaming platform in a tweet on Saturday evening, saying that the update was the only request she had in the ever-changing music industry. As Adele explained, artists don't create albums without putting care and thought into the track listing, the order of songs and such. Adele having again released that critically acclaimed 4th album on the 19th of November, just a few days ago. And for USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
We are USA Radio News. I'm Lance Pry.
The OBGYN you choose matters. They will be by your side to guide you through the important stages of life, from puberty to childbirth to menopause and everything in between. Choose healthcare you can trust from the experts at BJC Medical Group, located right here in your community at Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital. Visit MissouriBaptistSullivan.org to schedule your appointment with one of our board-certified OBGYNs. Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital, your best medicine close to home.
This moment in history brings with it the chance to advance yourself while protecting our community. At BJC, you'll belong to a world-class healthcare system that offers tuition reimbursement available your first day, schedule flexibility, and 30,000 remarkable colleagues. You'll feel the unity and opportunity and find strength within. Apply now at bjcopportunity.org. Sign-on bonuses available.
On Missouri Net, I'm Bill Wise. The St. Louis Metropolitan Clergy Coalition is providing social emotional support to students and teachers at 4 St. Louis schools in areas with the highest incidence of violence. One of the schools the coalition is working with is Sumner High School. Reverend Charles Norris says clergy members do yoga with the kids before teaching them science.
3 years in a row, the winners all of the St. Louis science competition all placed from Sumner High School. These were special education students, winning first, second, and third. By doing yoga, having them relax, and using these coping mechanisms, it released them to be able to fulfill some of the potential.
Norris says clergy members are teaching students about coping skills so the kids will go to school. And nobody matched all the numbers in Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing, now worth an estimated $213 million. That's a $152.9 million one-time cash payout. This is news on Missouri Net.
Need to replace your Social Security card? In most states, you can request one online with a My Social Security account. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can also get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Thinking about retirement? Make sure a My Social Security account is a part of your plan. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can find out if you're eligible to receive benefits, compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates, view spousal benefit estimates, and more. Plan for your future. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Hi, this is Marissa Heidbrink, Loan Coordinator and Horizons Director with First State Community Bank in Owensville. Do you long for the days when you were part of a club with fun events, lasting friendships, and breathtaking adventures? If you said yes, then your club still exists. Our Horizons Club goes beyond your everyday banking needs. Benefits include ID Protect, discounted safe deposit boxes, access to local events, and travel opportunities. Stop by to see our team and learn how you can join today. First State Community Bank. Success starts here. Member FDIC. Visit us online at fscb.com.
Adventure is calling. Answer all season long with this can't-miss deal from Cooper Tires at Joe's Tire Company in Owensville. From October 14th until November 8th, when you buy 4 qualifying Cooper Tires, you can claim up to a $70 Cooper Tires reward. Enjoy every mile with the high-performance durability of our entire Discoverer AT3 family of tires, Discoverer Tour North, and Evolution Winter, plus our new Cooper Endeavor and Endeavor Plus lines. Visit us.coopertire.com/promotions for forms, terms, and conditions, or stop by and see the experts at Joe's Tire Company in Owensville today.
What do you do when water doesn't flow? Low pressure, clicking sounds from the pressure tank, pump runs constantly? You contact Schrepfer Well Drilling, your water pro. Their knowledgeable staff is ready to handle whatever water issue you're experiencing. Schrepfer Well Drilling also handles a full line of water treatment equipment. Hard water, red water, sulfur, it can all be treated. Family owned and operated since 1953. They can repair your pump system and improve your water quality. Your family owned water company, Schrepfer Well Drilling.
In our local report of news on this Monday, a Union woman was injured in an accident early this morning on I-55 in Perry County at 12:18 a.m. A 2017 Ford Escape driven by 41-year-old Amy L. Jett of Union, Missouri, was traveling south on I-55 when the vehicle went off the left side of the roadway and struck the cable median barrier. Amy Jett suffered minor injuries, was taken by ambulance to the Perry County Memorial Hospital for treatment. At 10:45 Sunday morning in Franklin County, Highway Patrol reported a two-vehicle accident on westbound 100 at Highway KK. A 2013 Kia Soul, operated by 29-year-old Brittany E. Sartori of Union, was exiting a private drive onto westbound 100, failed to yield to a 2016 Kia Sorento, driven by 66-year-old Michael R. Lane of New Haven. The vehicles collided. Brittany Sartori suffered moderate injuries, was taken by Washington ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Washington. A passenger in the Sorento, 67-year-old Pamela S. Lane of New Haven, suffered moderate injuries. She was taken by Union ambulance to Mercy Hospital in Washington. At 7:12 p.m. Saturday, there was an accident on eastbound I-44 at the 225-mile marker at Sullivan. A 2007 Chevrolet Malibu driven by 67-year-old Patricia A. Danolds of Springfield, Missouri, traveling east on I-44, attempting to merge onto the interstate from the on-ramp, pulled out in front of a 2013 Freightliner conventional tractor-trailer operated by 37-year-old Christopher W. Kramer of Belleville, Illinois. The tractor-trailer struck the rear of the Malibu, forcing it off the right side of the roadway into an embankment and overturned. Patricia A. Danolds of Springfield suffered minor injuries. A passenger, 66-year-old Stephen Danolds of Springfield, also suffered minor injuries. Both were taken by Missouri Baptist ambulance to Missouri Baptist Sullivan Hospital for treatment. The Highway Patrol reported an arrest at 3:20 p.m. Sunday in Franklin County. 28-year-old Thomas C. Fowler of Londell was arrested on a Franklin County charge for no valid license. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. 2:30 a.m. Sunday in Franklin County, 40-year-old James R. Brown of St. Louis was arrested on a Franklin County probation violation for forgery and possession of controlled substance. Iron County warrant, failure to appear driving while revoked or suspended. St. Clair PD warrant, non-moving traffic violation for no insurance, no license, and moving violation speeding. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and held without bond. At 2:19 a.m. Sunday in Franklin County, 41-year-old Andrew W. Hitler of Union picked up on a St. Louis County warrant for dangerous drugs, possession, and controlled substance. He was taken to the Franklin County Jail and was bondable. 11:10 p.m. Saturday in Phelps County, Mason S. Burns, age 30 of Rolla, was arrested on DWI and speeding 51 in a 35 zone. He was taken to the Phelps County Jail and placed on 12-hour hold. At 9:27 a.m. Saturday at Phelps County, 27-year-old Aaron R. Perry of Indian Hill Park, Illinois, was arrested for felony possession of LSD, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia and speeding. He was taken to the Phelps County Jail, processed, and released. As a result of low blood donor turnout in recent months, the Red Cross is heading into the holidays with its lowest blood supply in more than a decade at this time of year. The ongoing effects of COVID-19 and a summer spike in the Delta variant cases significantly challenged the nation's blood supply heading into the fall. The pandemic also resulted in fewer blood drives at schools and colleges, contributing to a 34% drop in new blood donors from last year, one of the largest year-to-year decreases, and one that could threaten essential medical care for patients. Locally, the Missouri-Arkansas Red Cross region has experienced a 13.4% decrease in new blood donors this year. Don't wait. Humanity needs you to help patients enjoy all the holiday season has to offer. Make an appointment to give blood or platelets as soon as possible by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-733-2767. As a thank you, all those who come to give between November 29th and December 16th will automatically be entered in a chance to win a private screening for the winner and 50 of their guests for the epic new film, The Matrix Resurrections. Plus, those who come to give between November 29th and December 16th will also get a $10 Amazon.com gift card by email thanks to Amazon. Locally, there are blood drives going on today in Pacific from 1 until 6 p.m. at the Mission Community Church at 2001 West Osage, and in St. Clair from 2 until 6 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall in St. Clair at 204 South Commercial. There's a drive coming up next Monday at Cuba United Methodist Church from 2 till 6 p.m. p.m. Also next Monday from 2 to 6 at Coleman Elementary School in Villa Ridge. Franklin County Health Department reported Friday that 5 people had died from COVID-19, those deaths occurring in October. One was a 64-year-old man from Sullivan, a 66-year-old man from Grubbville, a 69-year-old woman from Villa Ridge, a 76-year-old man from St. Clair, and a 65-year-old woman from Gerald. There's an 80-year-old Union woman listed as a probable death. Franklin County had confirmed 219 deaths and 36 probable deaths from COVID-19. There were 194 new cases last week in Franklin County. Hospitalizations increased to 4. The Sullivan Schools Board of Education meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at the boardroom at the Administrative Building at 138 Taylor Street. Under public comments, Sarah McFall will have comments on the current privacy policy. There's also special recognitions for middle school student Manny Webster. They will have the payment of bills and the consent agenda. Under old business, they'll go over the academic achievement recognition for graduates. Under new business, approval of surplus property bids. They'll have the building reports, and there's also a closed session. The public is invited. City of Sullivan collecting leaves for city residents beginning next Monday the 29th through December 10th on your regular trash collection day, weather permitting. This year will be a free service to Sullivan city limit residents only through the dates listed. After the posted dates, if service is requested, a $35 charge will apply. Paid vacuum service will end on December the 17th. City crews will collect leaves on each street one time only during the scheduled collection week. If you have any questions, need more information, contact the Sullivan Street Department, 468-4912. That's your look at local news on this Monday. This is Bobby D.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible, so when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy at Edward Jones is, don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Don A. Greenwald. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for what life throws at you. Call us at 573-468-6046 or visit edwardjones.com to learn more. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Recently named North America's Farm Equipment Dealer of the Year, Seidenstricker Nobe John Deere is your partner for the land. At Seidenstricker Nobe Partners, our customers are number one. Our mission is quality service and exceptional equipment to get the job done. Our experienced sales, parts, and service teams are ready to help with all your equipment needs. Come see us at one of our 27 locations or visit us online. Run with us at Seidenstricker Nobe, snpartners.com, your partner for the land.
A lifetime of love, you lived.
When the time comes to say goodbye to a loved one, it's a chance to remember their gifts to us.
Dad used to love his walks along here.
His love will be with us every step of the way. Life moves on, but love lasts more than a lifetime.
The lifetime of love.
Don and Lisa Mizell, Mizell Funeral Home, Cuba.
In recent funeral announcements, Lena Lee, née Boyer of St. Clair, passed away November 16th at the age of 86. She is survived by a son, John Lee, and wife Pam of Grubbville, a grandson, John M. Lee, and fiancée Jana Rice of Union, other relatives and friends. Funeral services will be held at 11 o'clock this morning at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, with burial in Libring Citizens Community Cemetery in Lubring. Visitation will be held from 9 a.m. until services at 11 this morning at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to Lubring Citizens Community Cemetery in memory of Lena Lee. Robert Nix of Gerald passed away November 17th at the age of 83. He is survived by a nephew, Don Angel, and wife Debbie of Owensville, other relatives and friends. Funeral services will be conducted at 11 o'clock this morning at Ebenezer Stone Church near Gerald, with burial in the church cemetery. All arrangements for Robert Nix under the direction of the Gottenstrader Chapel in Gerald. Shirley Dean Giddens, née Ellington of Washington, passed away November 14th at the age of 84. She is survived by a son, Ed E. Giddens, and wife Kelly of Willow Park, Texas, 2 daughters, Sharon Orman and husband Scott of St. Clair, and Susan Limeberry and husband Harry of Neosho, and 3 grandchildren. A memorial visitation for Shirley Giddens will be held from 4 until 5:30 p.m. today at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, with private committal held at a later date. Memorials may be made to the Franklin County Humane Society in memory of Shirley Giddens. Hal A. Hengstenberg of Owensville passed away November 18th at the age of 64. He is survived by his significant other, Missy Vandergriff, his children, Andrew Hengstenberg and wife Lauren, Adam Hengstenberg and wife Megan, Emily Stroop and husband Eric, Molly Cody and husband Alex, and Lillian Wolken and husband Andrew, a stepson, Jeremy Vandergriff and wife Tiffany, and 15 grandchildren. Funeral services for Hal Hengstenberg will be held at 11 a.m. Tuesday at the Gottenstrader Funeral Home in Owensville. Visitation will be held from 4 until 8 p.m. tonight at the Gottenstrader Funeral Home in Owensville for Hal Hengstenberg. Irma Lee Abney, née Midget of Davisville, passed away November 17th at the age of 82. She is survived by her husband, Devin, 4 sons, Mike and wife Roberta, and Kevin and wife Kim, all of Davisville, Ron and wife Jenny of Owensville, and Jeff Abney of Rolla, a daughter, Debbie Skasik, and husband, Randy of Cuba, a stepson, Rick Abney, and wife Debbie of Pinellas Park, Florida, 2 sisters-in-law, Carol Midget of Cuba and Lavetta Midget of Bourbon, 9 grandchildren, 25 great-grandchildren, 4 great-great-grandchildren, many other relatives and friends. Funeral services for Irma Abney will be held at 1 p.m. Tuesday at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville. Interment will be at Upper Indian Creek Cemetery in Viburnum. Visitation will be held from 5 until 8 o'clock tonight at the Britton Bennett Funeral Home in Steelville for Irma Abney. Shirley Vaughn of Gerald passed away November 18th at the age of 71. She is survived by daughters Becky Braun and husband Mike of Gerald, Tammy White and husband Sean of Maryland Heights, a stepdaughter Becky Smith and husband David of Owensville, her siblings Naomi Brennan of Villa Ridge, Barb Markovich and husband Mark of Beaufort, and Ronald Smith of St. Clair, 12 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. Funeral services for Shirley Vaughn will be held at 11 a.m. Wednesday at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Gerald, with burial at Schmidt Cemetery, Highway H, Gerald. Visitation will be held from 9 until services at 11 a.m. Wednesday at the Gottenstrader Chapel in Gerald for Shirley Vaughn. Mahala Fritz Girardi, née Ringling of St. Clair, passed away November 19th at the age of 88. She is survived by 2 sons, Ray Mannion and wife Denise of New Mexico, Dale Mannion and wife Karen of Georgia, daughters Cheryl Mannion Winiger of St. Clair, Roberta Mannion, Yofi and husband Joe of St. Louis, and Elizabeth Girardi Gotway and husband Jerry of St. Clair, a brother, 14 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren. Funeral services for Mahala Fritz Girardi will be held at 10 a.m. Saturday at the Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair, with burial in Midlawn Memorial Gardens at Union. Visitation will be held from 3 until 8 p.m. Friday and after 9 a.m. Saturday at Russell Colonial Funeral Home in St. Clair. Memorials may be made to the Liberty Baptist Church St. Clair, Mercy Hospice in Washington, or Pregnancy Assistance in Washington in memory of Mahala Fritz Girardi.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
How is Sullivan Bank different from those other banks? Sullivan Bank has been a community bank since 1895, supporting local businesses, schools, organizations, and community events. Their employees are your next-door neighbors, friends, and family. Sullivan Bank reinvests in the communities they serve because of you, your business, your organizations, your loyalty. Stop in today and experience a community bank at its best. Sullivan Bank, equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Looking at sports on this Monday, Rupi Hintz scored 2 shorthanded goals for the Dallas Stars in a 4-1 win over the Blues Saturday night in Dallas. Brandon Saad had the only goal for the Blues. They are back at home against the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. Pre-game at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10. You'll hear tonight's game on 102.1 KTUI-FM. A Tyler Beatty touchdown run and a Connor Bazelak to Daniel Parker Jr. 2-point conversion pass in the first overtime period gave the Missouri Tigers a 24-23 win over the Florida Gators on Saturday and made them bowl eligible for the 2nd consecutive season. The Tigers will finish off their regular season with the Battle Line showdown against Arkansas on Friday at Fayetteville. Kickoff set for 2:30. On Sunday, the Tigers picked up a verbal commitment from 2023 4-star tight end Brett Norfleet out of Francis Howell High School. He's a standout pitcher and first baseman as well and plans to play baseball at Mizzou along with football. The 6'7", 225-pound junior rated the nation's number 12 tight end for the 2023 recruiting class and the number 7 overall prospect in Missouri. Missouri State Bears football team, 8-3 on the season, closed out their regular season in impressive fashion, rolling up 574 yards total offense and a 55-24 win over Dixie State in Utah. The Bears have now qualified for the NCAA FCS playoffs and will host 9-2 UT Martin on Saturday at 3 p.m. After going down by 13 points in the second half, the Missouri Tigers went 7 of 10 from the field in the final 6 minutes to tie the ball game, sent to overtime where they beat SMU 80-75, going to 2-0 in the Jacksonville Classic. They'll face off against Florida State tonight at 7:30, the championship game of the Duval bracket. Our pregame coverage at 7 on KTUI 94.1 FM, 1560 AM, and the TuneIn app. Missouri women's basketball picked up its 4th consecutive victory, beating Idaho State 75-47 Sunday afternoon at home. Izzy Higginbottom led the team with 18 points, Lauren Hansen 15, Sarah Rose Smith with 10. Mizzou back at home on Tuesday when they will host Troy, tip-off at 7 o'clock. St. Louis U Billikens guard Fred Thatch Jr. had a career-high 20 points, leading the Billikens past Mercer 75-58 on Saturday. In a campus game of the Cancun Challenge, the Billikens will carry a 4-1 record in Mexico, where they'll play Illinois State on Tuesday. Missouri State Lady Bears women's basketball team improved to 3-1 on the year with a 67-41 victory over the USC Trojans on Saturday in Los Angeles. And the MSU Bears men's team playing in the Naples Invitational, Naples, Florida, opening up with a game tonight against Long Beach State at 7 o'clock. The College of the Ozarks men's basketball team beat the host school Viterbo University at the Viterbo Invitational Saturday by a score of 76-64. Tanner Diaz from Steelville did not score in the game but had 3 rebounds and 1 steal for College of the Ozarks. The Lady Bobcats lost at Benedictine College 72-58 Saturday night. They were outscored 41-21 in the second and third quarters combined as Benedictine secured the win. Kyra Hardesty from Washington led the Bobcats with 12 points. Vaughn University women's basketball team held off the Barclay Bears in a 69-62 win on Saturday. Kaya Harbor from Sullivan had 3 points, 5 assists, a rebound, and a steal. Haley Busher from St. Clair again responded off the bench with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Griffins are back in action on Tuesday, visiting Knox College at 5 o'clock. Webster University women's basketball team beat Hendricks Arkansas College 87-47 Saturday to improve to 5-0 for the first time in program history. Hannah Cottrell from Stillville had another full stat line with 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block. The Gorlocks are back on the court Tuesday, hosting Stevens College, a non-conference matchup at 5:30. William Woods University women's basketball team fell to Missouri Valley College Saturday afternoon 80-63. Steelville's Sydney Booker dropped in 14 points with 6 rebounds in the loss. The Westminster College men's team put together a big second-half rally to beat the Crusaders of the University of Dallas 81-68 in their second game of the Webster Classic in St. Louis on Saturday. Blue Jays will travel to Lindenwood University in St. Charles on Tuesday for an exhibition matchup against the Division II team. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Missouri S&T women's basketball team back in action Saturday afternoon against Missouri Southern State, lost 74-50. The Miners are on the road for a matchup with Northwest Missouri State in Maryville at 6 o'clock tonight. Mineral Area College women's basketball team split their 2 games in the Region 16 Classic in Mineral Area over the weekend, beating State Fair Community College 68-49 on Friday. Quincy Erickson from Herman had 12 points in that game. Mineral Area lost to Three Rivers 91-82 on Saturday. The Wofford University women's basketball team claimed their first victory of the season with a 106-55 drubbing of the Southern Wesleyan Warriors Friday night. Freshman Reagan Rapert from Union had 10 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals for Wofford. At the Co-College Wrestling Invitation on Saturday, Missouri Baptist University freshman Dylan Witt from Sullivan went 2-2 on the day and finished 4th at 125 pounds. Zachary Ochterberg from St. James lost both of his matches on Saturday. For the MBU women, Heather Ochterberg from St. James went 2-2, but did not make the placement round at the Missouri Valley Open on Saturday. William Jewell freshman Allison Meyer from Washington was 1-2 at that tournament. And the Missouri Baptist University women's cross-country team wrapped up one of its most successful seasons at the 2021 NEIA Cross-Country National Championships on Friday. Freshman Maya Reed from Washington made the most of her debut, finishing in the top half of the field, placing 137th with a time of 19 minutes 52.5 seconds. In local sports from Saturday and scores, in state quarterfinal football was Cardinal Ritter beating Owensville 48-6. Dutchmen finish up their year 9-3. Girls basketball Saturday, the BSN shootout in Rolla. St. James edged Blue Eye 48-46. In the varsity game, St. James winning the JV matchup between those two schools 46-27. At Miller Career Academy, it was Union girls picking up a win over Gateway Legacy 40-34. In boys basketball, the BSN shootout in Rolla on Saturday, Capital City came back to beat Pacific 77-45. In a JV game at Lynn, it was Lynn over Bell 38-27. At the Wright City Girls Wrestling Tournament at 115 pounds, Janessa Ablett from St. Clair finishing first. Caitlin Scott of Borges second. At 120, Lily Zimmerman of Union was third, and Karen Dietzler from Sullivan was fourth. At 125, Jade Studdard of Sullivan fourth, Charlie Sullivan of Union fifth, Andrea Penovich from St. Clair was sixth. 130 pounds, first place goes to Audrey DeClue of St. Clair. Second, Amy Callahan of Borgia. Third, Riley Ostendorf of St. Clair. And sixth to Cassandra Pritchett of Sullivan. At 135 pounds, Josie Hopkins from St. Clair was second. Lauren Karch of Borgia was third. At 141, Dory Richardson of Sullivan taking first place. Hannah Thacker of St. Clair was third. Gracie Stratman of Union fourth. And Peyton Dunn of St. Clair sixth. At 149, Caitlin Jansen from St. Clair finished first. Juliana Grady of Sullivan was second. Maria Schatzel Sullivan third. Olivia Lauder of St. Clair was fifth. And Sadie Altimus of Sullivan sixth. At 159, Ruby Daly of Sullivan first. Chloe Parks of Sullivan second. Katie Summers of Sullivan fourth. And Holly Pritchett from Sullivan was fifth. At 174, Jaden Hodges of Sullivan taking first place. Gianna Schreck of Union was second. At 235, Rhea Bristow of Sullivan was first, and Mackenzie Logsdon of Sullivan was second. Looking at the schedule of games on tap for tonight, in girls basketball, Bell at Richland, JV and varsity 5:30. Owensville will be at Borgia, and that is a 6 o'clock start now. The game was originally at Owensville, been moved to Borgia, JV and varsity starting at 6. St. Clair at Festus 5:30. Bourbon and New Haven, Father Tolton at Herman. Poplar Bluff at St. James, Steelville at Grandview, Saxony Lutheran at Union are all JV and varsity starting at 6 o'clock. The Sullivan girls game against DeSoto has been moved to Sullivan on Tuesday night starting at 5:30 for the JV game, and we will broadcast that game on Tuesday night. Boys basketball coming up tonight will be a freshman game, New Haven at Washington at 5:30. The Borgia tournament gets underway tomorrow night. First round games on Tuesday. Number 1 Fort Zumwalt North against Owensville at 6. Number 4 Union against Washington at 7:30. On Wednesday, it's University City and Gateway at 6. Borgia and Pacific at 7:30. Semifinals are Friday. And then the 7th place, consolation, 3rd place, and championship games are Saturday at Borgia. Also on Tuesday night, Sullivan the freshmen will be at Salem at 5:30. Sullivan boys JV and varsity at Fort Zumwalt East at 5:30. Other games, Valley at Bourbon, Cuba at Houston, Dixon at Steelville are all 5:30 starts. Newburgh at St. Clair, Bell at New Haven, Wright City and Herman starting at 6. Washington at Troy for a freshman game on Tuesday at 6:15. In wrestling tonight, St. James will be at School of the Osage for a boys and girls dual meet at 5 o'clock. In middle school wrestling, Owensville and St. Clair will be at a tri-meet at Union at 5 o'clock. And in middle school boys basketball tonight, Steelville at St. James, Washington and Waynesville. Those are 5:30 tip-offs. Sports on the air, we have Blues hockey tonight. Pre-game at 6:30, puck drop at 7:10 on 102.1 KTUI FM. And Mizzou basketball taking on Florida State with pregame at 7 and tip-off at 7:30 on 94.1 FM, 1560 AM, and the TuneIn app. That's your look at sports on a Monday. This is Bobby D. All righty. Thank myself for sports. Anyway, we have 27 minutes away from the hour of 9 o'clock. And happy birthday today to Jody Fieser. Little John Rice having a birthday today, and also Kim Voles. Now, we got that called in before 7:30 this morning, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper at my desk, but I just didn't bring the piece of paper with me in here to write it on my master list. So happy birthday to Kim Voles today. Apologize for not getting that on earlier. And joining me right now, Brady Vasselli from the Fraternal Order of Eagles, to talk about what's going on at the Eagles Hall. Good morning, Brady.
Good morning, Bobby. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So I know this is getting to be a pretty busy time of the year for the Eagles. And matter of fact, you guys have something coming up for Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, we sure do. Our annual Don't Stay Home Alone dinner will be on Thanksgiving Day. Serving will start at 1 p.m. that day. So still got plenty of time to – we're asking for call-outs, at least for reservations, just so we have a head count at least if we can get a good number, but not required by any means. I mean, if it's a last-minute thing you want to come out, please come on out. It's open to anybody. So there is no carry-outs this year. In year past, we have allowed that during COVID, just for that fact. But this year, they decided no carry-outs on that. But it is open to the public. We are asking those that are coming, maybe if you're able to, bring a dessert or something to share along with.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that is happening again, and I'm thankful for the volunteers that are pulling that off. They give up their Thanksgiving. A couple of days, actually. They're going to start cooking tomorrow for it. So I appreciate those volunteers taking the time out to help us pull that off, as they do each and every year. And it's a good community event for us.
Yeah. Now, it starts at 1. How long are they going to be serving?
Typically, it's just a meal. So it's pretty much, serve, and we'll have it set up for a little bit. But, it's kind of a sit-down and fellowship all together at once. And so it's not won't be throughout the whole day.
I would say doesn't drag off through the evening. So.
Correct.
Yeah, don't wait till 3 o'clock or whatever to show up for.
They'll probably be wrapping up, cleaning up around 3. So
yeah, you may get a leftover.
Very, very true.
That's about it.
Very
All right,
true.
so what's the next big thing coming up after Thanksgiving?
Well, we had a couple big things. We had our craft fair back in November. That great results. We could have used a little bit larger room. We just had them in the small hall, but next year they will be in the large hall for that. So any vendor that might be interested in give the ladies a call. Get on the list for next year. Get a spot. They're taking reservations already for that. This weekend we also did scouting for food. Our Cub Scouts that we sponsor. They collected over 2,200 items.
Good.
Here out of the Sullivan community. So we appreciate those that participated in the Blue Bag program, helping those kids, and we appreciate those kids going out and the parents. I'm supporting that. This year, we will not be doing our Christmas baskets like we've done in years past. We haven't actually done baskets for the last couple of years because of COVID. But the price of all this stuff is getting expensive.
Yeah, it is.
So we had a meeting, and we all decided that our money's probably better suited to allow the missions and the pantries, because they can buy a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
They can stretch that dollar a lot farther. So we've made sizable donations to both Sullivan and Bourbon this year. To both pantries, and they'll be dispersing that food as best they need. They understand that a lot better than we do, first off, and who needs it, and so that's kind of how that process is working for us, and we appreciate it. Our members make this money possible, so we appreciate that for sure.
And of course they know what people need as well. One of the things I found, and I saw this somewhere probably on the internet or whatever over the weekend, and it was some people talking about groups making food drives for the local pantries or whatever it might be, and they mentioned several things that I found interesting about. You get a lot of people that donate boxed macaroni and cheese. Well, you need margarine or butter and milk
extra to go with it.
To make it. Okay, we donate canned goods. Well, if you don't get a Papa Top, you got to have a can opener. And so and it was a whole list of various things like that. You donate this, but then again, you need this and this and this to use that. So think about that, folks. If you're going to make some donations, if your group is raising money or you're taking stuff, think about. Hey, let's do eggs.
Yeah, our basket program used to contain flour and potatoes.
Yeah, flour and sugar
and
bread
and just the staples.
Yeah, sandwich bread. People would donate stuff. Well, you need bread. So think about that, and throw in a good can opener or two. Some milk or some.
Or throw in $10.
And let them buy it. So that that's taken care of. But I thought that was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tonight we are hosting. I seen it on the calendar, and I know it's happening. The ladies softball team is having their season wrap-up dinner tonight at the Eagles.
Okay.
So Ashley will have the girls out there with the parents. They'll wrap up the season, probably hand out awards, is my guess. But we're looking forward to having them, and what a great season they had this year. Yep. Just appreciate them coming out and having a great evening with us. Then Wednesday night is the annual Jim and Mark's most excellent Thanksgiving Eve bash. It's the 14th annual this year. I think they've had a year off or two during the COVID time, but they're back in action, and the doors open at 8 p.m. Wednesday nights. $5 cover charge with Riverside Band will be on stage playing some live music. So, and then last thing, we don't have much in the our rental calendars are kind of shy this winter. Of course, still we've got some smaller businesses that are kind of doing some group things, but we're still without Fidelity's no longer doing their Christmas party anymore. So we've lost some of our bigger rentals during December. So we have a lot of opportunities for take the small hall for a
that'd be
party.
Great. Sure.
Last weekend we had a little kids party, and they brought inflatables and put them up inside the large hall. So you can kind of do a kids party in there. It's just a great room, and any of those rooms are great for parties. So birthday parties, family reunions, whatever. So we're calendars are open. We're inviting people to give us a call if you got something in mind, and let us see if we can help you with the calendar. But the last thing is coming up, a 10U baseball team in town, Midwest Mambas, will be having a fundraiser on December 4th. And that's Rick Pullman's team. They do a lot of traveling around the state during summertime. So they're raising some money to make traveling happen, get into tournaments. These tournaments must not be cheap to get into with these
no, they're not.
Kids. Right?
No.
So they're going to have a poker run starting, I think it's midday, around noon or so, around town. And then they'll have a cornhole tournament at 6 p.m., which is a big thing right now.
Yeah, that's really popular.
And then they'll have it's just a night of fundraising. They've got I think some whole hog raffles and things like that going on. So good supportive kids that are they're proceeding their sports.
Good.
But other than that, I was mentioning cornhole, but we do have open cornhole on Tuesday nights. I think is where they moved to now. So it's open to anybody that wants to. And there's been a lot of people playing. So but we appreciate Ktui allowing us. Thank you for having us as always.
Always glad to do
wish
that.
Sam a good vacation week, and
always glad to have you guys in. Give us some contact information. Where can they get hold of
We're at 1000 Assenmine Road, and if you need to call us, 468-6900 is the number there in the social room, and we open at 12 o'clock most days, 11 o'clock towards the weekend. So
okay. All right, Brady. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Brady
Happy
Basali.
Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you. And of course, don't forget about the Don't Stay Home Alone dinner. And that's on Thursday. Serving starts at 1 o'clock, and don't wait too long because it's just kind of a serve the meal and visit for a while. So we want to try and get everybody out there. If you don't wait till 3 to go out, they'll still have food. You need to get there 1 o'clock, a little after, to get your food. And Mike Bittner will now sit in as I got to turn that thing on there.
Yeah, got to change the microphone. He's a tall guy.
Yeah. Well, you just sit farther down your seat.
Yeah. Round's a shape, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm glad you're there. Yeah. It scared me. Round wasn't a shape.
Yeah. All right. Trouble. Okay, here we go. Today is Cashew Day.
I like cashews.
I can eat them. They're not my favorite. I can eat them. Just every once in a while, I won't make a habit of them. But it's Cranberry Relish Day.
I like cran. I don't know if I ever had cran. I guess I've had cranberry relish.
Yeah. It's Humane Society Anniversary Day.
That's good. That's a good deal.
Start Your Own Country Day.
No, thanks.
We got enough problems in this one without starting another one.
No.
Go for a Ride Day. I took a ride to work today.
Yeah, I did too. Yours was a lot longer than my ride, but
National Stop the Violence Day.
Like that idea.
Yeah, and let's see. I think it's National Housing Day in Canada.
Housing Day. I guess buy a house in Canada. I guess.
I don't know. I would recommend that highly to some of our esteemed celebrities that have said that they were going to move to.
Yes, they probably got they got homes to go up to.
When Trump was elected, but none of them ever left.
No, then they would move back now.
Breaking their promises. Yeah. Let's see what else. It's Church-State Separation Week, Geography Awareness Week. I'm aware of geography everywhere I go.
Big map right there.
Yeah. Bible Week.
Yep, I just dealt with that yesterday.
Yep. Family Week.
Yep.
Game and Puzzle Week.
I do puzzles every day. We do jigsaw puzzles together, Kathy and I do. And then we do crosswords together. And then I do jigsaws on my little computer thing.
And let's see, it's also Better Conversation Week.
Well, if you want to have a smart conversation, don't talk to me. I'm just not that, when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I was going to go a different direction with that, but that's okay. So that's some of the things that we can we can celebrate. The number for the day.
Okay.
And I like this little feature that they're adding on our prep stuff here. Number for the day is 140.
140.
Yeah. You'll never get this.
Probably not.
Yeah. That is the number of roundabouts in Carmel, Indiana.
Holy cow. In Carmel, Indiana,
Carmel,
140?
Indiana. It's the most of any U.S. city.
Yeah.
Small, big, medium, large, whatever.
Yeah, it's just
140 roundabouts.
We got one.
Yeah. Sullivan's on the map with one
St. James don't have one, does it?
Thank gosh, no.
I was going to say, I can't think of one.
No, Rolla's going to be getting a bunch more.
Yeah, we've got one. That's plenty.
Yeah. Yeah, Rolla, and if I remember right, if they stay with their plan, there's going to be a roundabout right in the middle of 63, right in the middle of town.
Really?
Well, the university has bought up a bunch of properties, and they're putting in a new main arrival area, what they're calling for the university. Used to have there at the 185 exit, kind of the middle one, three there, where you get off. And they got the pedestrian bridge over there.
Yeah, I call it the hospital exit. I don't know if that...
Hospital exit, yeah. Well, that was called University Drive, and it kind of came up to a stoplight there at 63 and the Havener Center, which was right there.
Right.
Well, what they did was bought up a bunch of houses in that subdivision, that neighborhood to the right, to the south of that, and then a couple of businesses, the Huddle House and the Hardee's. And they are rerouting, when you come off the interstate, they're rerouting that road through that area, and it'll now come in about where they tore down the old Bureau of Mines building.
Right, I knew that, yeah.
And so it's going to come in.
I hated to see that building go, too.
Yeah, it was, I was kind of sad. There are a lot of people in town weren't happy about that. But it'll come in, the main entrance then will be there. Now, what they have said in their earlier proposal on their drawings and stuff is they're going to put a roundabout on Highway 63 right there. No, I'm sorry.
Here's the problem with roundabouts, in my opinion. I mean, bus drivers are better drivers than I am. They can deal with it. But you got tractor trailers going to be going through that all the time.
Oh, constantly.
And there's no way in the world they can. And if they've got that one down in Branson, right there by the hospital, that's 2 lanes.
Well, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be 2 lanes.
How did the tractor trailer go around a 2-lane roundabout without taking up both lanes?
Yep. And how big is it going to have to be to allow room for everybody to do?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and they think that's going to make traffic flow better. No.
I don't see it.
No. I just, of course, I'm not a civil engineer, and I'm really hoping that any of the civil engineers that are designing this, I hope none of them graduated from Rolla.
Yeah.
Because if anybody finds out that they were part of that, they're going to catch some flack. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I just myself and a whole lot of people do not see that working very well. But anyway, we'll skip over the roundabouts and go on to something else. Did you know that Nebraska has the lowest unemployment rate of any state ever?
Farms.
Just 1.9% unemployment in Nebraska right now.
Fantastic.
But in healthcare alone, Nebraska has 13,000 openings.
In healthcare, 13,000?
13,000 in healthcare alone.
Wow.
Okay, and I like this. It says emergency rooms are so backed up, they ask you to make a reservation before you cut off your finger or fall out of bed and hurt yourself.
I like that. That's pretty good.
All right. Now, we were talking with Brady about days off.
Yeah.
His wife works out at Spring Bluff, and they decide to take a couple of extra days this week. Latest findings confirm it's bad for your health if you sleep late on your days off.
Really?
What is he saying? His wife was complaining about having to get up at normal time on a day off. The doctors recommend sticking to your normal routine. Get up on time, then go to work and hide from your boss while you take a nap under your desk. I don't think that would work.
I can't get underneath my desk. Well, I could, but I could never get out.
Yeah, there you go. No, I definitely cannot get underneath my desk. No, that's not going to happen. Unless I take out a set of drawers.
Yeah, there's no way
with a welder.
Yeah.
Okay, Sawzall or something.
Yeah,
just take
cut
it
her out of there.
And all right. I know some people that might. A man who went to a hospital in Poland complained of having headaches, and then he found out he had a nail stuck in his skull.
That'll tend to cause a problem.
They removed the nail, although they warned him the hair may not grow back over the spot because they had to spackle the hole and sand it down.
That's pretty good. Never heard of head spackle before.
Yeah, okay.
You're supposed to take a wet rag with that. They need to sand or just wipe it off with it.
Yeah, okay. My grandmother likes to play Christmas carols after Thanksgiving dinner. She knows it's a little early to get in the holiday spirit, but it's great for her, drowning out the sounds of all the snoring, belching, and passing of gas.
I just had a visual. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. Can't get rid of that picture. And here's one. Research shows that men carry a gene that limits their lifespan.
Yeah.
It's called the cheating on your wife gene.
Exactly. I was going to say, other than yes, dear, I don't know what expands it.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
And let's see what else.
I'll give you one here.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
You just give you one. This one's kind of neat. Now you're a man that likes to save money. You don't like to waste money.
I try not to.
Okay.
I'm guilty of it from time to time, but I try to be as frugal as I
making
can.
money, making a frugal investment.
Yeah.
Would be what things you like to do.
Yeah.
Well, this place in 1955, I think, made a very wise investment.
Okay.
They paid $35,000 to Sun Records for Elvis Presley's contract. That was RCA.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that probably made him a dollar or two.
A little return on investment there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that probably made him a dollar or two.
In 1955, they...
and, of course, the Colonel went with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was kind of like a package deal with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he
$35,000 to Sun Records in Memphis.
Well, back then, $35,000.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that...
55?
Yeah. A pretty good chunk of change for them back then.
But still, it's...
I bet they're kicking themselves in the backside about 4 or 5 years after that.
Yeah, I don't know how long Sun Records lasted after that.
They were still around for a while because, they still had... Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, they still had a few in there.
in their stable and a couple others. I can't think of them right offhand, but and they were still fairly successful for a while before they moved on to elsewhere. So
I never knew this either.
Okay.
In 1961, producer Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman announced expensive. Read it right. It says expensive publicity campaign. This is Monday, isn't it?
Yes.
Announced an expensive publicity campaign to make Sean Connery, James Bond, a star. In 1961.
Right before Dr. No.
Yep.
That came out in early 62.
Yeah, 62. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
I never knew that. I never.
Yeah. By golly, they wanted to make sure everybody knew they picked the right guy.
Yeah.
And he's still probably the most favorite Bond.
He's mine.
Of
mine.
Most of them. Yeah. He was just epitomized cool.
Roger Moore was good too.
Roger Moore was
he was sophisticated, more sophisticated than
I don't know. He was
Connery.
To me, he was kind of campy.
Connery. The thing with Connery, he played about everything.
Oh yeah.
He played on The Rock. He played Hunt for Red October. So many things. He was so versatile. Yeah. Told you this is Monday.
Yeah, he
it's
can
not
do
good.
a lot of different things well.
Good. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Also in 1961, I bring this up just because it's local. St. Louis Hawks Bob Pettit sets the NBA record hitting 19 of 19 free throws. That was in 1961.
And boy,
that's probably still a record today, 19 of 19.
Good luck getting anybody to do that today.
Yeah.
That's a lost art.
Yep. Well, it's all about slamming. It's all about
slamming.
Is all it's
watching college and pro games of the poor free throw shooting. It's just
terrible.
For a basketball purist like myself, I get aggravated at that.
My dad coached and refereed basketball for years back in the day, and that's what he used to say. They'd watch NBA games. These guys be grabbing hold of the rim. He goes, "It's goaltending. That's goaltending. You can't hang on to the rim unless you're going to come down and hurt somebody. That's goaltending." And they never call it anymore.
No, it's. Well, in addition to shortages of about everything else, Expect a shortage of department store and mall Santa Claus actors for kids to confine.
No.
Yep.
Say it's not so.
Yes, sir. In addition to the usual reasons for labor shortages, the men who play commercial Santas are at high risk for COVID-19.
Well, that's a good point.
And Santa don't wear no mask.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Stephen Arnold, president of the, I didn't even know this existed.
Santa Claus Association.
President of the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas.
Holy cow. We got
some how much it costs to get that thing certified. Most of us tick all the boxes. We're old, we're overweight, we have diabetes. If we don't have diabetes, we have heart disease.
I could be a Santa Claus.
which makes it extra dangerous for us. Yeah, okay. I never thought about it like that.
Nope.
And we talked, and wanted to throw this in there. We talked about the guy with the nail in his head.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Nearly 20 years ago, Jason Padgett sustained permanent brain damage from injuries sustained during a robbery. Somebody robbed him. His Wisconsin doctor says that after being assaulted, Padgett, quote, had a perceptual change. He has a particular kind of synesthesia where he sees lines, and for him that translated into a greater understanding of mathematics. Padgett, who didn't even finish algebra in high school, suddenly became a math genius. He's suffering, or is blessed with, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it, sudden genius syndrome. So I'm thinking about going and asking somebody to beat me in the head.
Yeah, just, I don't. To me, it's a very simple thing. What's 1 and 1?
2?
No, it's 11. 1 and 1 is 11. And people want to say it's 2 all the time. It's 11. I need to be hitting the head, don't I?
There you go. While the change in his brain has led to OCD and some anxiety symptoms, it's also allowed him to give TED Talks and write a book called Struck by Genius. So,
making some money off of it, too.
Yeah, it worked out okay for him.
He lost $25 and he's made $25 million, so I guess he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
My wife says Sean Connery is the only James Bond.
Well, now...
The only one that counts for her.
I'm not going to get into an argument with your wife.
Yeah,
I see how it works out for you.
I attempted to once.
Yeah, I see how it works out for you, so I'm going to skip that.
Yeah, I attempted to once, and I gave up.
A year ago this week,
yes,
superhero power most parents wish they could have. Okay, in a survey of moms and dads, 9 in 10 wish they had a superhero power to help with the trials and tribulations of raising children. The top superhero power, invisibility, was number 1.
Yeah, I can see that. Although I don't know that. They're invisible or we're invisible.
Yeah, them. Yeah, the parents. Yeah. 2 would be flying.
Yeah,
that would be helpful.
Yep.
Yes. 3, time travel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's one I do it.
Yeah. 4, teleportation.
Okay, time travel.
Yeah, it's a little slightly different. Yeah. Okay. 5, super strength.
That probably wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
That could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Let's see. Okay. The next James Bond will be a 6'6" shredded Samoan man, if Dwayne Johnson gets his way.
Really?
The WWE star turned blockbuster actor and tequila brand proprietor said he wants to succeed Daniel Craig as the British super spy.
Can't see it.
In a new interview with Esquire, The Rock says, "I'd like to follow in his footsteps and be the next Bond. I don't want to be a villain. You got to be Bond." Johnson already does have a connection to the 007 franchise. His grandfather, pro wrestling legend High Chief Peter Maivia, brawled on screen with Sean Connery's Bond in 1967's You Only Live Twice.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
I had never heard that before.
I'd heard that. But yeah, The Rock says he wants to be the next James Bond.
Just, I like The Rock, but I just can't see him as James Bond.
Yeah, I think he'd have a little trouble with the British accent.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Not only that, but when you put that Walter P.P.K. in his hand, it would look like a toy gun.
Yeah, well, he'd probably have to have like a great big huge.
Yeah. Like an Uzi.
Yeah, automatic rifle or some sort, or grenade launcher.
Yeah, an old M79.
And look, he would have a little bit of trouble getting in and out of the Aston Martin.
Good point, too. Just take the doors off and just climb to the top.
Yeah, rip the seat out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From driving the back seat.
You got some birthdays?
Yeah, we got some today.
Okay.
First Lady Abigail Adams was born in 1744. John Adams' wife.
Yeah.
Charles de Gaulle, French statesman, born in 1890.
President.
Yep. Wiley Post, he was the first pilot to fly solo around the world in 1898. That was for Sam, if you're listening, buddy. Hoagie Carmichael. Like Hoagie Carmichael. Composer, pianist, singer, actor, band leader. He did just about everything Hoagie Carmichael did. Rodney Dangerfield.
I don't get no respect.
I watched a deal on YouTube last night. 100 of the funniest Rodney Dangerfield jokes. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Born in 1921.
I don't get no respect.
Yeah, no respect at all.
No respect at all.
You know his doctor? Zinni Boomba? You know his doctor? Actress Geraldine Page. Born in 1924. She was in Hondo, Pete and Tilly. Trip to
Bountiful.
That's the place.
Yeah.
I didn't go there, but you did. That's good. Robert Vaughn, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Magnificent Seven, Bullet, 1932. Love that Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Ilya's still around.
Yeah.
You know? Ducky.
Yeah, Ducky.
Writer-director of Mighty Python, Terry Gilliam.
Oh, yeah.
1940. He's 81 today. African Guion Bluford Jr., the first African-American astronaut in space. Born in 1942. He's 79 today. Billie Jean King, Lieutenant Starr. Born in 1943, is 78. Stephen Van Zandt, 1950. 71 with the E Street Band. Richard Kind, 65, born in 1956. Jamie Lee Curtis, 63, born in 58. Merrill Hemingway, born in 61. And Mads Mikkelsen, born in 65.
Mark Ruffalo and Scarlett Johansson both have birthdays today. Ruffalo 54, Johansson is 37. Thank you, Mike. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You bet.
KTUI, 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, Sullivan, Missouri. Pick us up on YouTube Live or on the TuneIn app. It is 9 o'clock. Coming up next, it's the news and the For Sale show.
1963, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was assassinated while traveling through Dallas, Texas in an open-top convertible. WFFA reports in 1963.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath, but about 10 or 15 minutes ago, a tragic thing, from all indications at this point, has happened in the city of Dallas. Let me quote to you this, and you'll excuse me if I am out of breath. A bulletin, this is from the United Press, from Dallas. President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas.
In other news, Waukesha, Wisconsin Police Chief Daniel Thompson said a person of interest is currently in custody, but stressed the investigation is very active. A person drove an SUV at a high rate of speed into a parade in the Milwaukee suburbs Sunday afternoon. USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Wayne Alaroot. John and Chelsea Jubilee with Energized Health are regular guests on my show, sharing their breakthrough science of intercellular hydration. They help people burn fat fast, supercharge their energy, boost their immune system, reverse ailments and disease with no painful exercises and no restrictive fad diets. I'm Exhibit A. I've been on the program for over a year now. During the first 88 days, I lost 25 pounds of inner body fat and I gained 10 pounds of muscle. And I've never gained the fat or weight back. I look and feel great. Everywhere I go, people tell me I look 10 years younger. Don't just take my word for it. Go to EnergizedHealth.com and check out hundreds of amazing testimonials. Right now, John and Chelsea are giving my fans a special Christmas gift. Energized Health will pay for your spouse's transformation. Sign up before Christmas and your spouse is free. Go now to EnergizedHealth.com or call 888-444-8895. That's 888-444-8895 or EnergizedHealth.com.
The federal government is continuing to push their COVID-19 vaccine booster shots onto the American people.
Despite indications that immunity can wane, Dr. Anthony Fauci telling CNN State of the Union the time is now to get that booster shot.
We know they're safe and we know they're highly effective in bringing very, very high up the optimization of your protection.
So what does Thanksgiving amongst our loved ones look like?
If you're vaccinated, and hopefully you'll be boosted too, and your family is, you can enjoy a typical Thanksgiving meal, Thanksgiving holiday with your family. There's no reason not to do that. The thing we are concerned about is the people who are not vaccinated.
Fauci telling ABC's This Week it's unclear if boosters will be needed annually. From the USA Radio News Oregon Bureau, I'm Jeremy Scott.
NASA is preparing to launch a spacecraft that will attempt to strike an asteroid to see how the crash affects the space object's path. The DART spacecraft is set to launch November 24th from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Governor Ron DeSantis signs legislation to ban vaccine mandates and clarifying parents' rights to decide if their kids will be masked in Florida schools. The Republican governor tells One America News science says natural immunity is real and not being understood by the federal government.
Well, it's basic science that we're following. The OSHA rule, for example, rejected the idea of natural immunity, even though studies in Israel, Cleveland Clinic, you name it, have shown it is robust and it's long-lasting. And so if you've recovered from COVID, you have a blanket exemption from any type of vaccine policies. And I think that that's the scientifically justifiable thing to do. And I can tell you, agencies like the CDC that will not acknowledge natural immunity, they hurt their own credibility a lot. And I think it's one of the reasons why most Americans now view them as more of a political institution than as a medical institution.
Governor DeSantis says it's all about protecting the people in Florida.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that my bottom line was I want people to be able to keep their jobs. I don't want to see people being fired as a result of this. If you look at how they did it, you know, they treated government entities a little bit differently. They treated private business. But, you know, private business, you know, they provided huge protections and a blanket ability to opt out. And so I think it was very effective the way it ended up being done. And I think it will likely withstand court challenges the way it was structured, whereas if you had done it another way, you may have given rise to a challenge. So I think the protections are strong, people won't lose their jobs, but I do think it'll stick in court.
Lance Pry, USA Radio News.
If you're concerned about the power grid...
From the KTUI Weatherbug Weather Center, for this morning, expecting mostly cloudy skies. Sunny this afternoon, a high temperature of 43 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear and cool, a low of 29. On Tuesday, sunny, a high of 54. Tuesday night, mostly clear, a low of 41. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a high of 60. Wednesday night, rain likely, low 35. And on your Thursday, expecting partly sunny skies, a chance of a morning shower, high temperature 44. For KTUI, I'm Andrew Brady.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And currently, we have clear to partly cloudy skies and still a chilly 33 degrees at studios of KTUI. It is time now for the For Sale Show, your chance to buy, sell, and trade items on the radio. Call us at 468-5101. You can text us at 573-677-1001. Send an email for sale at ktui.com, either the number 4 or spell it out at FOR, for sale at ktui.com. And speaking of calling us, we do have someone on the phone line with me right now, so let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on the For Sale Show.
Yes, good morning. I have for sale a boar hog. I'll take $200 for him. He's a red wattle. He's about 250 pounds. And then I also have for sale a new boys bike with training wheels. It's black and gold. It's a 20-inch. I'll take $75 for it. My number's 573-859-3909, and I'm looking for some old bathtubs. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so they have for sale a boar hog. It's red wattle, about 250 pounds. They have a 20-inch boys bike with training wheels, and that's $75. And they're looking for old bathtubs, old metal bathtubs. They're going to use them, I believe, for like animal waterers. So if you have one doing a remodel or anything like that, you got an old metal bathtub you'd like to get rid of, 573-859-3909. It's 573-859-3909 on those numbers. And that's as easy. That's that easy. All you have to do is call me at 468-5101, area code 573-468-5101. Again, you can send a text, and we have several folks that do that, and we get their items on. 573-677-1001. You can send me an email, for sale at ktui.com, either FOR or the number 4, for sale at ktui.com. And any of those ways, we'll get your information and we'll get it on the air on the For Sale Show. And let's see, while I'm waiting for some more calls, I got an email here from someone. They've revised some prices on their moving sale. They are having a moving sale including 2 white wicker chairs with cushions and a matching coffee table for $150. They have an old porcelain top roll-around table for $15. It's 25 inches deep, 29.5 inches wide, and 30 inches high. They have an ornate gold frame with a bevel glass mirror for $35, and it is 43.5 inches wide and 31.25 inches tall. An ornate walnut frame picture for $20, 31.75 inches wide by 25.75 inches high. For details, or if you want them to text pictures of their items to you, you can contact Carol at 314-603-5084 or Don at 314-603-5085. So there you go. Let's see. Shelby Dunn says that the Blue Heeler pups have sold, so they're all gone. We have someone that has a Fire Chief wood furnace for sale for $250. 457-8358, 573-457-8358 on the Fire Chief wood furnace. These folks have a mirror, some dishes, china. They have a closet organizer, a 10x12 rug, a foot massager. All those are available by calling 573-468-4580, 573-468-4580. Some Airedale pups, they're about 14 weeks old. They are registered. They want $500 apiece. When they made the initial call, they had 3 females and 5 males. So you got a choice there. 573-205-3735, 573-205-3735. Stu had a bunch of stuff. He's got a dolly, a string trimmer, a wood panel, a Singer sewing machine, a barbecue pit, and Adirondack chair, and probably some more. If you ask him, he might have some more for you. 314-799-5766. That's 314-799-5766 on those items. And we have a new sewing machine, never been used. It's $45. 573-241-2336. 573-241-2366. 1998 Chevy pickup for sale, $3,500. 573-201-9442. 573-201-9442. Let's see. Round bales of hay from last season for $10. A 142-gallon stock tank. A pit bull and some long-haired kittens. And they're looking for a stock for a 94B Stevens shotgun. Also looking for an ATV tire. All those items at 573-764-4435. 573-764-4435. Let's see, they have a dryer, 3 muzzle loaders, a 22 semi-automatic rifle, a crossbow, lots of yard sale and flea market items. 573-327-9068, 573-327-9068. And let's see what else. A mahogany armoire in very good condition, 573-259-1494, 573-259-1494. And I believe that is going to do it. Here we go. I have a dark oak wood rectangle coffee table with casters. It has 2 doors for a storage area and early American hardware. Measures 42 long by 24 wide by 18 high. Asking $50. 314-607-1974. 314-607-1974. And that's all I have in my list of items on the For Sale Show. And I'll give you about 30 seconds while we hear from the folks at Jerry's TV Sales and Service. And if you need to get on the show, give me a call. And otherwise, after Jerry's, we're going to go into some community notes.
I think it's a baby step.
Jerry's TV in Sullivan is a family-owned appliance, furniture, mattress, and electronics store. Jerry's has over 20,000 square feet of showroom with name brands of fine quality home furnishings at low prices. Jerry's TV's been serving the Sullivan and surrounding area since 1962. Jerry's has in-store financing, fast, free delivery, free setup, and free removal. When you shop at Jerry's, you get discount store prices with service in every department. Shop local. Shop Jerry's TV, 375 West Springfield in Sullivan, because service matters.
All right, and that'll do it for the For Sale Show today. Again, we will have the For Sale Show tomorrow and Wednesday. Just to let everybody know, we will not have any local programming on Thursday. That means we're just going to have the network programming. There'll be no local news or funeral announcements, sports, anything like that. We're taking the day off on Thursday. It's just going to be our regular satellite programming. We will be back with you on Friday with the full complement of local stuff, but we are taking the Thanksgiving holiday off, so no programming, no local programming on Thursday of this week. And let's see what we do have here. I think that's done. And let's see, that's over with. I've got to go through a bunch of stuff here and sort some things out. Okay, that's done. I do want to tell you that on, let's see, I guess it's, I'm trying to remember, it's on Thursdays throughout the school year from 3:35 until 5:30 p.m. You can go to the Lasting Hope Assembly of God Church at 2416 Old Highway 66 in Bourbon, just right out by the high school. And what they do is it's called the giveaway food. They do 7 suppers, 7 snacks, and a gallon of milk. Now, a parent or legal guardian must come pick up the meals for the kids in the home that are in their care, and that's for all kids between the ages of 1 and 19. So if you have 5 kids in that age range, you get the 7 suppers, 7 snacks, and a gallon of milk. You get 5 separate things of those for your kids. This is an equal opportunity provider. Pastor Frank Brooks at the Lasting Hope Assembly of God Church is in charge of that. It's every Thursday from 3:35 until 5:30 p.m. at the church. And the House of Hope weekly food distribution for children 3 to 18. And they do this on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. until 12 noon in Sullivan at the House of Hope Food Pantry at 235 North Clark. And Carl Duff at Carl Duff Ministries is running the one in Sullivan. Program allows them to distribute 7 meals and a gallon of milk to each child between the ages of 3 and 18. Meals are provided, intended for your children in your home, in your care. And so again, it's an after-school program provided by the USDA. And meal components are not allergy-friendly, so be careful of that as well. And so for more information, contact Carl Duff at 636-249-3790, 636-249-3790. A reminder about the blood drive going on at the Knights of Columbus in St. Clair at the main hall at 204 South Commercial. It runs from 2 until 6 o'clock today. And you need to go to redcrossblood.org and enter K of C St. Clair to schedule your appointment. Or you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. It's 1-800-733-2767. Schedule an appointment for today. That's at the Red Cross Blood Drive, Knights of Columbus Hall, 204 South Commercial in St. Clair, 2 to 6 today. Well, let's see. Knights of Columbus in Sullivan are having a Henry gun raffle. First prize is a Henry Big Boy 45 lever action rifle. Was the gun of the year for 2020-21, made in the USA. Second prize is $400. Third prize is $100. It's a Henry 45 lever action, checkered walnut pistol grip, blued steel for modern ventilation, a rubber recoil pad. It's a working rifle for the farm and the hunt. Includes sling swivels and a large loop lever for cold weather gloved use. Tickets are $10 each, or 3 for $25. Only 500 tickets are available. Drawing will be held December 10th, so time is running out. The winner must not need to be present to win. They must be 18 years of age or older to win. Must pass a background check, and all local, state, and federal laws will apply. Tickets can be purchased from any Knights of Columbus member or at Ruby's Gun Shop in Sullivan. You can also view the rifle there at Ruby's. For more information, call the Knights of Columbus Hall at 573-860-2458. That's 860-2458. And the Mid-Ozarks Veterans Coffee Talk is done every Tuesday at 9 a.m. at the Cuba Senior Center. Get free donuts and coffee, plus info on veterans benefits. Phil Willis is the host. And if you need more information, you can call Phil at 314-795-2475. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to sponsor a meeting, you'll help him out with the cost, pay for the coffee and donuts. You can call him or go to willistravels@aol.com. That's WILLISTRAVELS@AOL.com. And that's again held at the Cuba Senior Center every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for Mid-Ozark Veterans Coffee Talk. Bingo at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Cuba every Thursday night at 6:15, located at the I-44 and Highway UU exit just east of Cuba. 573-885-4225 for more information. And let's see, there's some holiday stuff coming up. The St. James Chamber of Commerce presenting Christmas Time Trivia, and that'll be on December the 3rd. Doors open at 6. Bring your own drinks and snacks. It'll be held at the St. James Catholic Church Hall. They'll start asking questions at 7 o'clock. The church hall located just off East Scioto near the football field in St. James. It costs is $120 per table, maximum of 8 people per team. They'll have all kinds of prizes, a 50-50 raffle, silent auction, a live pie auction, best ugly Christmas sweater contest, and a whole lot more. Tables must be paid for in advance. Find the St. James Chamber of Commerce Facebook page for registration forms, or email Charity Satterfield at the email address is charity@hutchisonford.com. All proceeds will go to help local community family members in need for the holidays in St. James. Sullivan High School Choral Department presenting a musical night at the movies, and that'll be on Saturday, December 11th at the Sullivan High School Theater. Doors open at 5:30. Show begins at 6. Start the evening with sounds of the holidays from the SHS choirs, followed by selections from your favorite feature films performed by Sullivan High School choir students. Light refreshments be served in the commons prior to showtime and during intermission. General seating tickets, $10 adults, $5 for students, age 5 and under free. VIP seating tickets are $12 per person. VIP seating is located in the center section nearest to the stage. Availability for that area is limited. Additional requests will revert to the general seating ticket price. To purchase tickets, email Mrs. Moore at MOOREN@sullivaneagles.org. Your ticket is not confirmed until payment has been received. Pay in person by cash or check at Sullivan High School office. To order online, go to sullivaneagles.revtrak.net/high school and look for the Lights, Camera, Music tab there. So that's coming up on December the 11th at Sullivan High School. And that's all I have for you as far as community notes. If your organization, church group, civic group, club has an event coming up that you would like to get mentioned on our community bulletin board, all you have to do is, if you have a flyer, you can mail it to KTUI Radio, P.O. Box 99, Sullivan, Missouri 63080-0099. It's again, you can email it to us. You can email news@ktui.com. Just kind of scan your flyer into your computer, whatever, send it by email. You can text it. Just take a picture of it with your phone. Text it to us at 573-677-1001. You can bring it by, drop it off during our regular hours. Usually someone here till around noon or so each day. You can come by our new offices here at 900 North Elmont, right here by First State Community Bank, and drop it off here. Just several ways you can get that to us, and we'll get your information about your community event on the air. And currently 23 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock, and a chilly start to the day, not going up very fast. 33 degrees our current temperature. Happy birthday today to Kim Voles, Jody Fieser, and John Rice. Little John having a birthday today. We're looking for a high day around 43. Cold tonight, low of 22. Sunny and warmer tomorrow, high of 55. That'll do it for me today. Thanks for letting me be part of your day. Appreciate folks coming in. Congressman Lutkemeyer on the phone. Brady Vasali with the Eagles. Mike Bittner, of course. Mike will be back with me again tomorrow. And hope you are too. And until then, be good to yourself, be good to someone else. Bobby D saying so long till tomorrow morning at 6.
9 or newer, you can stop paying for repairs right now. That's right. With Protect My Car, when your car breaks down, we pay your repair bill for you. Just dial 800-315-7458 on your mobile phone now to get started. Protect My Car pays for repairs to your engine, transmission, air conditioning, suspension, and so much more. Dial 800-315-7458 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Dial 800-315-7458 on your mobile phone right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Dial 800-315-7458 and never pay for car repairs again. Dial 800-315-7458.
You want to walk away from the big box stores every day? I tell you about how the big box stores tried to cancel Mike Lindell and MyPillow. You keep buying products because it's Christmas time. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Mike G to save big and get all your Christmas shopping done in one fell swoop. See, walking away from the big box stores is the reason PatriotSwitch.com was created. Regular folks like you and me and mine. You know somebody with a business who's been hurt? Maybe the mandates, you're tired of the big box store policies. What if we all banded together and we walked away? Like those workers who got together, walked out of GE a couple weeks ago. You want to shop at family-owned, Patriot-owned, made-in-America stores? You can. This is the future. PatriotSwitch.com. Stop shopping at the big box stores. Take market share away